Chapter 39-34. Fourth More. On the void of Jiudian Pavilion, Jian Wushuang and the Lord of the Dragons stood there. In front of them were the three masters of Jiudian Pavilion. The eyes of these three patrons at this moment are not on Jian Wushuang's body, but on the Dragon Lord. This person. Xin Yun dominated and looked at the Lord Dragon with a frown. He does not know the Lord of Dragons and has never heard of such a strong man. Although the Lord of Dragons is standing behind Jian Wushuang at this moment, it gives a huge amount of oppression in his body. This oppression is strong, makes Xin Yun dominated secretly. At this time the eyes of the Demon Dragon Lord also just swept over. It was just a simple sweep. Xin Yun's master only felt a twitch of his body and mind. So terrible strong, I feel not weaker than that ancient night devil and maybe even stronger. Xin Yun is the master of the first pavilion of Judea Pavilion. When the ancient night demon king rose, he also dealt with the latter. However, the background of the Nine Emperor Palace is too large. It is said that the power of Xian can oppress many large forces in this star field, but it is not afraid to provoke the Jyoti Pavilion alone. Suddenly, Xin Yun dominated and found that the one-cornered old man standing in front of him at the moment gave him a stronger feeling than the ancient night demon. But the one-corner old man stood on the side of Jian Wushuang and was a little behind. The Lord of the Blood Sword, I wonder if this one around you is? Xin Yun asked him. He is just one of my servants, Xin Yun do not care. Jian Wushuang smiled. Servant? Lord Xin Yun glanced at the other two cabinet masters next to him, but his heart was even more frightened. Dominated by Xin Yun, I came to Jyoti Pavilion this time to do business. Jian Wushuang do. Let the Lord of the Blood Sword come in person is bound to be a big business. I also invite the Lord of the Blood Sword to follow me to the cabinet, and we will discuss it slowly. Xin Yun dominated the invitation. Yes. Jian Wushuang nodded. Immediately, Jian Wushuang and the Dragon Lord, led by Xin Yun, ran towards the central loft of the Jyoti Pavilion. In the lofty loft, Jian Wushuang sat at a round table, and the Lord of the Dragons stood respectfully behind him. In front of him, the three lords of the Jyoti Pavilion also sat there. I don't know what treasure you need to exchange for the Lord of the Blood Sword? Lord Xin Yun asked directly. Spar, all kinds of special spar, but it must be high level. Jian Wushuang do. He wants special spar, which is naturally prepared for demon flame. Although in the eternal dark prison he beheaded many masters, conquered many strong ones, and obtained a large number of special spar, but these special spar, in addition to the Jin Song that was originally obtained from the 1,000-killed monarch outside of the boundary stone, most of the other spar levels are more general. Even if all of them are added up, it is not enough for the magic flame to restore the gold-swallowing body. Therefore Jian Wushuang needs more spar and they are all high level. This is easy to handle. I have a list of special spar in my 9 Emperors Pavilion. You can see the Lord of the Blood Sword. Xin Yun's master directly passed the list to Jian Wushuang. After Wu Jianshou took it, he browsed with the magic flame. After a few moments, the list is finished. No, the level is too low. The sound of the magic flame sounded in Jian Shuangshuang's heart. The spar on this list is very general, and the quality is lower than those of the master you get in the eternal dark prison. I've been on a few and I've recovered a lot of gold swallows now. I'm going to continue to recover. This kind of ordinary spar won't be of much use even if swallowed. Only the higher level spar can make it. My gold swallowing body continues to recover. None of the spar on this list can meet my requirements. Wu Jin's brows also frowned. He also listened to the demon flame before. As the gold swallowing body slowly recovers, the quality requirements for the spar will become higher and higher. Up to now, although the gold swallowing body of the demon flame has not recovered to 10%, but the general spar it had no effect on his recovery. Xin Yun dominates. It's true the special spar level I want must be high like the spar on this list that you come up with, none of them can meet my requirements. Jian Wushuang said. No one. Xin Yun dominated in surprise. No, the spar on this list is extremely rare and precious in this star field, and several of them are almost extinct in this star field. Oh, no such precious spar can meet your requirements of the Lord of the Blood Sword? Master of the Blood Sword, can you tell me what you want these spar to do? Xin Yun's is indeed curious. Ku Jianshuang but shook his head directly. This matter is important, I can't tell you, but I do need a higher level spar. I wonder if Xin Yun dominates your 9 Emperors Pavilion. Or is there another way to get it? The spar that I can take out for the time being is on this list. The higher level spar is probably very difficult to find, but if you really need the Lord of the Blood Sword, there is something else. The way can be found. Xin Yun dominated. What method? Jian Wushuang looked over. The Lord of the Blood Sword www. Novel. You should have some understanding of my 9 Emperors Pavilion. My 9 Emperors Pavilion is located in all corners of the universe and in various star domains, and this star domain is at the extreme edge of the universe. The barren land has naturally limited resources and treasures. The higher level spar is not available in this star field, but other star fields are available. If you really need the Blood Sword Master, Ijuti Pavilion can be delivered to you from other star domains. But it will cost a lot more to send it from other star fields. Shen Yun said. Wu Jinshuang squinted his eyes slightly, not surprised. The high-level spar he needs is indeed very difficult to get in this star field. Unless it is the deepest in the 3 battlefields and the opportunity is extremely bad, 1 or 2 special spars can be obtained. Ru Jianwushuang got a blood iron at the beginning. But hard to plant is pure luck, which can be encountered but not sought. With the resources of this star field, it is really not easy to get that high-level special spar. It can only be sent from other star fields. If you send it from another star field, the price will definitely be more expensive. After all, the universe is too vast, and one star field is extremely far apart from the other star field. Even if it is Jyoti Pavilion, you need to send treasures from a star field. It is not so easy to go to another star field. I want to know what are the highest level spar you can send to this star field in a short time. Jian Wushuang asked. End of this chapter. Chapter 39-35. 5th more. This, I have to communicate with the masters of some nearby star domains so that I can get accurate information. Shen Yun dominated for a while and said, let us just ask the 2 to wait a moment here, I will immediately get in touch with the cabinet owners of those stars. Okay. Jian Wushuang nodded without urging. Shen Yun dominated immediately and was presented with wine and food for Jian Wushuang to enjoy. After a long while, Shen Yun had the exact answer. Master of the Blood Sword, this list is just sorted out by me and can be sent to this star field in the shortest time. The special spar level on the list is much higher than the previous list. See if you are satisfied. Shen Yun dominated and resent a list to Jian Wu double-sided. After Wu Jianshou took it, his consciousness swept away and he nodded slightly. It is true that the special spar on this list is much higher than the previous level. Magic Flame, what do you think? Jian Wushuang communicated with Mo Yen internally. Not bad. The Magic Flame also said, although there are only dozens of crystals on this list, the levels are not low, and the highest level of them has the greatest 2 kinds of help to restore my body. One is the Ice Crystal. The other is the Golden Fire Magic Stone. Although the 2 crystals are still inferior to the Golden Sangjie Stone, they are also very good, especially the Golden Fire Magic Stone. If there is a certain amount in a short time, you can restore 10% to 20% of the deities. I got a reply from Demon Flame, and Jian Wushuang immediately looked up. Shen Yun is dominated. Of these spar, I need 2 ice crystals and Gold Fire Demon, but I don't know how much these 2 spar are worth. Bing Yuanjing, the Golden Fire Demon? Shen Yun dominated his brows and laughed. The Lord of the Blood Sword, you have a good eye. On this list I gave you recently, these 2 kinds of spar have the highest level. Especially the Golden Fire Magic Stone, that is extremely rare in the edge of the universe. Of course, the higher the level, the higher the value naturally, not to mention that both types of spar need to be sent from other star domains, and the cost is even greater. Shen Yun's dominance only said that the cost was greater, but did not say the specific value of these 2 kinds of spar. Jian Wushuang said directly, I not only need to send these 2 kinds of spar from other star fields, but I also have a requirement that the speed must be fast. Within 500 years I must send to this star field. And give it to me. What? Within 500 years? Shen Yun dominated his eyes. Why, you can't do it? Jian Wushuang glanced at Shen Yun. I can do it. I have 9 Emperor Pavilions in all corners of the universe, and have been connected with each star domain, and there are special space channels between each other. If you use space channels, let alone 500 years, even 5 it will not be a problem to send it to you in 10 years. But the key is the cosmic channel. It is no more than a space channel in the astral space. It is extremely difficult to open any cosmic channel. The cost is even greater. This is just a creation, and each time it is transmitted in cosmic space, the same it takes a huge price, as is the case with short-distance cosmic space channel transmissions, and the cost is even more outrageous if it spans star fields. Shen Yun's master frowned. I know the cost is huge and I have already prepared mentally. You don't need to talk nonsense to me, let's just say, how much it will cost to send these two kinds of spar to me in 500 years. Jian Wushuang said lowly. Xin Yun dominated for a moment, and then stretched out a finger, saying, a gold fire magic stone requires 1 universe source stone. Wu Jian's eyes narrowed sharply. The lion opens his mouth. The dragon lord next to him whispered coldly, and a little bit of evil swept out of him. When Sun felt this evil spirit, Xin Yun was dominated and the other two patrons of Jyoti Pavilion were taken aback. Qi Jian Wushuang waved his hand to signal the dragon lord to converge his breath. Is the source stone of the universe? Swordless eyes narrowed. Universe source stone, this is a special unit used for trading in the vast universe. In the vast universe there are two kinds of currency for trading. One is the cosmic crystal, which is also the earliest cosmic currency that Jian Wushuang contacted. At the time he got the Blood North heritage he got some cosmic crystals. At that time he didn't know the purpose of this cosmic crystal was later discovered in the cosmic battlefield. However, the universe crystal is only the most basic trading currency, and it is mostly used by the ruler and some weaker masters. And the masters who reach a certain level of strength, they use all the source rocks of the universe. In the universe it is also currency. The ratio of the source stone to the universe crystal is 1 to 100 million. In other words, only 100 million cosmic crystals can be exchanged for one cosmic source stone. But in this star field, even those masters who have been roaming in the universe battlefield all year round and have the rules of the treasure, their total net worth is probably hundreds of universe crystals. Even if it is a first-level master, the total net worth is probably only about hundreds of thousands of universe crystals. If there is the strongest treasure in hand, the net worth may be more but not too much. One cosmic source stone, equivalent to 100 million cosmic crystals, this is definitely an astronomical number for most first-order masters. Because on the market the value of a strongest treasure may be between 102 million cosmic crystals. One cosmic source stones are equivalent to dozens or even hundreds of strongest treasures. This is not to blame the demon dragon lord said that Xin Yun dominated the lion's mouth, because under normal circumstances, a gold fire demon stone does not need one universe source stone at all, at most 0. One universe source stone is sufficient. The Lord of the Blood Sword, I know that the price is relatively expensive but there is no way. Your requirements are too high. You must send it to this star field within 500 years. For 500 years, you can only rely on cosmic space. Channel. Xin Yun dominated solemnly. What about Bing Yuanjing? Jian Wushuang asked again. The value of the ice crystal is slightly lower than that of the gold fire magic stone, but if it is delivered within 500 years, it will also require a 0.9 source stone of the universe. Xin Yun dominated. Wu Jian so silent. In the bottom of his heart he was asking Moyan, if your gold-swallowing body is to recover 20%, how many gold fire magic stones or ice yuan crystals do you need? If all of them are gold fire magic stones, 100 pieces are almost enough. If all of them are ice crystals, I'm afraid about 120 pieces are needed. Moyan replied. 100 gold fire magic stones, which means 100 universe source stones. Jian Wushuang's eyes narrowed. Chapter 39-36. Sixth more. Universe source stone, swords unique. That was obtained when he was slaying and conquering many powerful men in the eternal dark prison. You know, most of the eternal dark prisons are from the depths of the universe, and hundreds of chaos-era killings can survive. Every family is extraordinary. There are some cosmic source stones or cosmic crystals in their hands, these all add up, and now I have about 20 cosmic source stones on hand. But the 20 cosmic source stones are obviously not enough to buy the golden fire demon stone and Bing Yuanjing. Xin Yun dominates this gold fire magic stone and Bing Yuanjing, I want a little more. Jian Wushuang suddenly said. Oh. Dominant Xin Yun immediately looked at Xiang Jianshuang. If it is pure gold fire magic stone, I need 100, as for Bing Yuanjing, I need 120. Jian Wushuang said directly. This. The master Xin Yun and the other two patrons heard it, all a little dazed. They know how expensive Xin Yun's price has just been. One cosmic source stone, a gold fire magic stone, hundreds, that would be 100 cosmic source stones. In the universe, even if it is the master of the 4th or 5th series, all the net worth may not have 100 source rocks of the universe. The Lord of the Blood Sword can take it? Although the suspicion is extremely deep, Xin Yun's master still said, the Lord of the Blood Sword, although I gave you this list, it does not mean that there are many spar on this list, especially the golden fire demon stone and Bing Yuanjing have the highest levels. I have communicated with and calculated the statistics of many cabinets in the surrounding area. All the star fields around here only have more than 30 gold fire magic stones. As for the number of ice crystals, there are more, but they are not even 60. Even if I give it all to you, it won't meet your requirements. So, I can do everything possible to send you 30 gold fire magic stones and 50 ice yuan crystals in 500 years. Of course, if it is a slightly lesser crystal, such as the blood dragon crystal, there are quite a few star fields around here. I can get you 200 or 300. It is not a problem. What do you think? Blood dragon crystal? Jian Wushuang frowned. It's okay. The sound of the demon flame rang in Jian Wushuang's heart. Although the level of the blood dragon crystal is not as high as that of the gold fire magic stone and ice yuan crystal, the 300 blood dragon crystals together are comparable. 30 or 40 gold fire magic stones and all of them are enough. Jian Wushuang nodded. Just 30 gold fire magic stones, 50 ice yuan crystals, 300 blood dragon crystals. Okay. Shen Yun dominated the dignified look. You thought that you only need 1 or 2 gold and fire magic stones for the Lord of the Blood Sword, so the value will naturally be a lot higher, but now the Lord of the Blood Sword is a one-time one. If you need so many crystals are already in the same star field. You can get a lot of crystals in one cosmic channel transmission, so it can save a lot of cost, so I can give you the Lord of the Blood Sword in terms of price. Lower some. Let us do that. 30 gold fire magic stones and 50 ice yuan crystals are added together. I'll give you 50 cosmic source stones. As for 300 blood dragon crystals, it's all 30 cosmic source stones. 80 cosmic source stone, Lord of the Blood Sword. If you agree, I will definitely send these things to the Star Palace within 500 years. Yes. Jian Wushuang nodded. 80 cosmic source stone, although it is still a huge number, but what Xinyun dominated before, it is indeed a lot of discount. The Lord of the Blood Sword, I don't know the 80 cosmic source stones, how did you pay for it? Xin Yun dominated it. I have a lot of treasures in your hand, let's see how much it is. Sword Wushuang waved his hand and took out a ring of heaven and earth. In this ring of prey, there are a lot of resources and treasures that he got from the strong men who were killed by him after he killed in the Eternal Dark Prison. Many of the resources and treasures here are extremely precious, which are not found in this star field, and the value is naturally extraordinary. After taking control of Chen Kuan, the master Xin Yun began to investigate carefully. When he saw the numerous and precious treasures in Chen Kuan ring, Xin Yun's heart shook immediately. Good guy Bafeng Mein Vine Feng Huxian Chao Lei Sha Shuedan. Xin Yun dominated and called out dozens of treasure names. These treasures are hardly found not only in our star field, but even in the nearby star fields. You, the Lord of the Blood Sword, took out so many things at once, and most of the other treasures are also very precious. The levels are also very high, most of them are difficult to find in our star field. Oh, terrific, terrific. Xin Yun dominated, constantly admiring. Of course, he admired the sword Wushuang's handwriting. Wu Mingming is just a ruler. The treasures that can be taken out are enough to marvel at most of the masters on the edge of the universe. Dominated by Xin Yun, tell me directly how much these treasures are worth. Jian Wushuang said indifferently. The master of Xin Yun made a simple estimation and quickly replied, The Lord of the Blood Sword, most of the treasures in this ring are extremely precious and rare, and there are several types of values that are even more amazing. All of them can be added together. Are you the Source Stone of the Universe, the Source Stone of the Universe? Jian Wu's eyes narrowed slightly. 30 cosmic source rocks, plus 20 cosmic source rocks already on him, are only 50 cosmic source rocks. I've got some treasures here, look at them again. Jian Wushuang took out another Chen Kuan ring. Xin Yun took over immediately. After investigation he found that there were only dozens of treasures in the Chen Kuan ring, but the breadth of those dozens of treasures was extremely amazing, and they were all the strongest treasures. And not the ordinary strongest treasure. The strongest treasures in the highest level, dozens of them? Dominant Xin Yun widened his eyes, calmed down immediately and smiled. Master of the Blood Sword, these dozens of treasures, I still give you 20 universes. The price of the Source Stone. Jian Wushuang's eyebrows finally frowned and he murmured, These strongest treasures are all in the highest level, and each one is very amazing. It should be easy to exchange 1 or 2 million cosmic crystals, and among them there are arcana warframes, realms and repression arcanas, all of which add up to more than 20 cosmic source stones? Master of the Blood Sword, you don't know about it. Xin Yun dominated with a smile. In a word, things are rare and expensive. If you only take 1 or 2 pieces of the best treasure of the highest level, the price is naturally different, but you can take out dozens of them at once, and I also get news. There are a large number of arcanas in the Star Palace, even the strongest arcana, which is obviously related to the Lord of the Blood Sword. Chapter 39-37, Seventh More. The Star Palace has a large number of arcanas, including the strongest arcana, and also used these arcadia to solicit powerful people. It is not surprising that it will not take long for this star domain's arcana, including the strongest arcana, to flood. In the future, this star domain, the value of arcana will naturally be reduced. According to local conditions, this principle, you should understand the Lord of the Blood Sword. Shen Yun dominated and looked at Jian Wushuang calmly. Jian Wushuang was silent. He did feel that the source rock of the 20 universe was a little low, but what Shen Yun dominated did not make him refutable. According to local conditions, if this star field itself does not have many strongest treasures, and there is no need for a universe of treasures at the highest level, the value is naturally different. Moreover, even if the price was lowered, he could not be angry and he could not force the other side by force. After all, he is not facing a small force now but Jyoti Pavilion. Although the host of the first pavilion of the Nine Emperor Pavilion is dominated by Shen Yun, although he has been polite to him from the moment he entered the door, in fact, this Shen Yun dominates him with no fear at all. I want to know that what stands behind him is a huge Jyoti Pavilion. He will only do business fairly and strive for greater benefits for Jyoti Pavilion as much as possible. The resources that I can exchange in my hands are almost the same, but I still can't get the 80 cosmic source stones unless. Jian Wushuang squinted his eyes, pondered for a moment, and then made a decision. Dominated by Shen Yun, I still have a treasure in my hand, see how much it is. Jian Wushuang waved his hand. This time he didn't take out the ring but took out a blue sword. As soon as the cyan sword came out, there was a horrific and fierce breath coming out, and the cyan sword faintly carried an incomparable force. That transcendental power is truly the law of the universe. This is the rule of treasure. The Lord Shen Yun and the other two lords of the Jyoti Pavilion showed horror at the moment they saw the blue sword. Not bad, this cyan sword is exactly the sword that Sword Master Wushuang received from the Lord of the Scorpions. The 5 rules of the Lord Scorpion Lord are precious. One of them is used by himself, and a purple stone stick is given to the Lord Dragon Lord. The 2 town monuments are refined by the sword unparalleled. As for the last item, this is the cyan sword, which is also contained in the ring of sword by the sword unparalleled in case of need. And now, in order to get what he needs very much from the Jyoti Pavilion, Jian Wushuang took out the cyan sword. Master of the Blood Sword, do you even have the rule of treasure? Shen Yun dominated Jian Wushuang with a shocked expression on his face. Don't talk nonsense, you look at this rule arcana sword, how many universe source stones can be exchanged for? Jian Wushuang is cold. Sovereign Shen Yun immediately began to investigate the power of the cyan sword. Only a moment later, the Lord Shen Yun gave the sword Wushuang a reply. The Lord of the Blood Sword, the cyan sword you brought out belongs to the rule of the lower grade, and among the treasures of the rule of inferior goods, it can only be regarded as ordinary. In the vast universe, the rule of inferior quality is generally treasure, and the value is between the source rocks of the universe, and your rule of treasure war sword is estimated to be between 120 source rocks. However, I said before that things are scarce and expensive. Your best-in-class treasures are the strongest treasures. Because there are a lot of them, the value is naturally low. The rule is treasure. In addition to the town monument that was originally born, there is almost nothing in this star field. At least I have never received the arcane treasure since I became the first patron of the 9 Emperor Pavilion of this star field. Therefore, in terms of value, this ruled treasure knife will naturally be higher. In this way, this low-level rule is a precious sword. I will give you the price of 150 cosmic source stones. What do you think? After Shen Yun dominated, he smiled and looked at Jian Wushuang. 150 source stones of the universe? Jian Wushuang looked up at Shen Yun's master and nodded secretly. He had already asked the Lord of the Dragons on his way. Regarding the price of the ruler's sword, the Lord of the Dragons said that the value of the ruler's sword should be between the source rocks of the universe, and Shen Yun's master gave 150. The price is indeed relatively high. As he said, things are precious. Counting it like that, the most powerful treasures he sold before are not a loss. This rule is the 150 cosmic source stones of the precious treasure sword, plus the batch of resource treasures and arcane treasures, all of which add up to 190 cosmic source stones, deducting the 80 cosmic source stones that purchased the gold fire magic stone, ice yuan crystal and blood dragon crystal. There are 110 cosmic source stones left. I still have a list here, there are some treasures in it, and see if you can get them in 500 years. Jian Wushuang took out a list again. On the list there are hundreds of treasures. These treasures were prepared for Jian Wushuang to cultivate the supreme immortal body. The supreme immortal mystic body is from Ling Yunxing. It is Ling Yunxing's inner star mysticism. It is very high level and very powerful. Before the sword Wushuang was only able to be refined into the first, but the body was greatly improved. Comparable to the elementary universe treasure. I have to know that the supreme immortal mysticism is full of 11th order. Only at the main level of the rule, you can practice the first 3 tiers. Jian Wushuang was just the first tier. The reason why he has practiced the second most important thing in these years is that the cultivation of the supreme immortal iron requires a lot of geniuses and treasures, and those geniuses and treasures are very high. Starfields can still be barely found, but the treasures needed for the second start are almost impossible to find in this starfield. Jian Wushuang also came to the 9 Emperors Pavilion because he now has a lot of resources in his hands, and he just took out the treasure on that list, which is the second and third most important thing for him to cultivate the supreme immortal Shentai. There are hundreds of treasures needed, and almost any kind is hard to find in this star field. Wu Jianwushuang was also unsure whether the Jiudian Pavilion could be brought to him within 500 years. These treasures. Master Xin Yun and the other 2 masters of the Jiudi Pavilion looked at the treasures on the list, one by one sipping the air conditioner. Why is it difficult? Jian Wushuang asked in a deep voice. The Lord of the Blood Sword, the treasures on your list are very high level and they are relatively rare. It is very difficult to get 1 or 2 of them in this star field alone, but if you do not hesitate, if you look for it from the nearby star field, you can probably find a full 99%, but on this list, there is still a genuine god fruit. Shen Yun dominated his words and his eyes were still a little shocked. Chapter 39-38. It's 8 more today. Genuine god fruit, that is a first-class treasure. It is said that this genuine god fruit, if only swallowed directly, can greatly enhance its own body. If it is refined into elixir or used as an elixir for other uses, the effect is even more amazing. In some large territories in the universe, many of the 4th series and even 5th series dominate the genuine god fruit, but genuine god fruit is extremely valuable. To 50 cosmic source stones. This is just the price on the market because genuine god fruit is generally available without a price. If a genuine god fruit is sold well, it is normal to sell a 70 universe source stone. Shen Yun dominated in that wonder. 9 Emperor Pavilion, a great family even if this genuine god fruit is precious, but it is nothing to the Emperor Pavilion, right? Jian Wushuang looked over. Genuine god fruit is naturally nothing to the Jade Emperor Pavilion, but here is the edge of the universe after all, and the many star fields around here, I dare say, there is absolutely no genuine god fruit, blood sword. If you want the golden source fruit, you can only send it from some large areas in the deeper part of the universe, and within 500 years the price will be much higher. Shen Yun ruled. Frankly speaking, how many universe source stones are needed? Jian Wushuang said indifferently. 400 universe source stone. Shen Yun dominated directly. 8 times the price? The sword has no double-sided discoloration. It's too expensive. A single gold source fruit requires 400 universe source stones. I can't afford it. There are indeed too many cosmic source stones, even if he replaced the ruled treasure sword with cosmic source stones, plus the resources he sold before and the strongest gem, minus the purchase of those special spar. The next 110 cosmic source stones, plus 30 cosmic source stones on him, are only about 140. It is still a long way from the 400 source rocks of the universe. Master of the Blood Sword, do you really need that genuine god fruit? Master Shen Yun suddenly looked over. Of course. Jian Wushuang Zheng focused his head. If the Lord of the Blood Sword is really eager for you, there is another way. Shen Yun dominated. What method? Jian Wushuanglian looked over. The Lord of the Blood Sword you may not know yet. In my 9 Emperor Pavilion, there is a special list called 9 Emperor List. Shen Yun, the master, began to recount. There are countless strong men on the 9 Emperor list. Among them they are either supreme or dominated, and of course there are rule masters, but without exception, those who are qualified to include names in this list are necessarily true strong ones, even the rule ones. The Lord must also be the one who rules against the sky and has great potential. Lord of the Blood Sword, I heard that you went to the ancient Night Demon Palace and fought against the ancient Night Demon King. It is true. Jian Wushuang nodded. Shen Yun dominated Xiao Wu and looked at Jian Wushuang. Many people saw the battle in person and recorded the process of that battle with mirror commands. I have one of these mirrors in my hands. Order and I and the other 3 took a closer look at the battle between you and the ancient Night Demon King and found that although you are the master of the rules, the power of combat is no less than that of the highest peak of the second rank, and the consciousness of the origin of the Kendo universe is so high that you even realize a bit of the law of the universe. There is no doubt that the Lord of your blood sword is the most supernatural genius in the vast universe. It is rare to see in the billions of stars. Such a super genius is definitely qualified to be among the 9 emperors. Jian Wushuang was silent. It is not surprising that the picture of his battle with the ancient night demon fell into the hands of Jyoti Pavilion. After all, many people did see it at first. He is just the list of 9 emperors said by Xin Yun, but still makes him extremely confused. Xin Yun dominates. What is so special about these 9 emperor lists? Jian Wushuang asked. The 9 emperors list is actually a list of strong men. Anyone who is included in the 9 emperors list is my friend of the 9 emperors pavilion, and will receive extraordinary treatment in the 9 emperors pavilion all over the universe. For example, you do not have enough cosmic source stones to buy that Jinyuan god fruit. It doesn't matter, as long as you are on the list of 9 emperors, then my Judian pavilion can give you Jinyuan god fruit first. You only need to pay for the universe you can get the source stone. When you have enough cosmic source stones, you will return. And the people in the 9 emperor list will be able to receive the greatest discount in exchanging treasure resources in any branch of the 9 emperor pavilion in the future, and even a lot of key intelligence information in the universe. If anything is useful to you, my 9 emperor pavilion will take the initiative to find you and inform you free of charge. The universe is vast and the practitioners are roaming in the universe. A lot of information is not available in time, but the people on the list of 9 emperors do not have to worry about it. For example, the Lord of the Blood Sword, you will go to the universe in the midst of it. If something related to you happens somewhere in the universe, my 9 emperors pavilion would find you and notify you as soon as possible. Xin Yun the master smiled. This. Jian Wu's eyes glowed with strange light. He listened to the dominance of Xin Yun that the people in the 9 emperor list can indeed get great benefits from the 9 emperor pavilion. The information that is notified in a timely manner is of immense value. Jian Wushuang also understands that everything needs to be paid to be rewarded. Jioding Pavilion serves such people in the Jioding list, how can it not be returned? If I leave my name on the Jiodi Emperor's list, what do I need to do for Jiodi Pavilion? Jian Wushuang asked. One thing, Xin Yun dominated directly. What is it? Jian Wushuang asked. I don't know. Xin Yun dominated and shook his head and laughed. Jiodi Pavilion will open a convenient door for all the strong in the 9 emperor list, and do our best to obtain intelligence resources for these strong, and my 9 emperor court only needs the people in the Geo Emperor's list to do one thing for me, Geo Emperor's court, but this thing is not fixed, but when you may just need your shot, I will ask you. Even if I went to invite you to Jiodi Pavilion, you can still refuse, but you can only refuse at most twice, but on the third thing you must complete it or you will not only be removed from the list of 9 emperors. Even in the future will be hostile to the 9 emperor pavilion. Is that so? Jian Wushuang raised his eyebrows and understood the significance of the 9 emperors list. The Jiojeta pavilion will serve the strongest in the Geo Emperor list as much as possible, and meet some of the needs of the strongest in the Geo Emperor list, as well as sources of information. The people in the Geo Emperor's list owe a favor to Jiujaj. In the future, Jiujaj will ask him to do one thing, but what he does will depend on the actual situation. When will his shot be needed? The imperial court would invite him. But even if you ask, the other party can refuse twice. Chapter 39-39. The first is more. Xin Yun is dominated, you Jiodi Pavilion, you can really do business. Jian Wushuang glanced at Xin Yun dominated. Although Jiodi Pavilion did pay something, it can be exchanged, but it is the favor of a strong man, and these strong people are not ordinary people. Like Jian Wushuang, although it is only the master of the rules now, Jiodi Pavilion is not considered by the eyes, but Jiodi Pavilion knows that Jian Wushuang has mastered a little cosmic law. Super genius. How great is such a super genius? He is worthless now, but when he grows up in the future, it will have a great effect when it is critical. The Jiodi Pavilion relied on some help to these strong men in the early stage, which made it unkind and included the name in the Jiodi Emperor's list, but they paid only some completely acceptable prices for the Jiodi Pavilion. For example, the so-called intelligence Jiodi Pavilion is itself for intelligence. It can be said that Jiodi Pavilion made a bet on a young strong man at a small price. Many of these young powerfuls may have failed to grow up and died before returning the favor of Jiodi Pavilion. Only 1 out of 100 people has grown up, which is profitable for Jiodi Pavilion. After years of accumulation, many names that still exist on the 9 emperors list have grown into top-level existence, But they all owe the favor of the 9 emperors' court. What a terrible power. A list of 9 emperors alone is afraid of the power that is enough to make the vast universe ignore the forces awe of the 9 emperors' pavilion. It is no wonder that Jyoti Pavilion can become one of the giants in the vast universe, spreading its forces in all corners of the universe. The Lord of the Blood Sword, I wonder if you would like to be my friend of Jyoti Pavilion? Shen Yun dominated the smile and looked at Jian Wushuang. Of course I do. Jian Wushuang nodded. I have nothing to refuse. He really needs the Jinyuan God fruit now, and the only thing he can get is the way of the 9 emperor list. It is not a bad thing to include his name in the list of 9 emperors, and it is not a bad thing to become a friend of the 9 emperors. Although it will owe a favor to the 9 emperors, I am afraid that this personal relationship will be obtained for a long time. When he truly becomes the top power after that, Jyoti Pavilion will ask him for more. Now and for a long time to come, Jyoti Pavilion will only serve him with the resources it has used. I don't know if there will be a chance to become a top powerhouse in the future. If there is a chance, I will return the favor of the Jyoti Pavilion at that time. Jian Wushuang smiled. Lord of the Blood Sword, there is a sign. You just need to leave your name and a drop of blood in the sign. Shen Yun dominated and laughed. More blood. Jian Wushuang stunned. Of course. Shen Yun dominated and laughed. The universe is vast, the number of practitioners is endless, the names are the same, I don't know how many there are, there is no convincing power at all, but the essence is the only one. Yes. Jian Wushuang did not hesitate even when the word blood sword, and a drop of his own blood were left in the order. After staying, the Lingfu slightly lighted up a special light. When he saw this, Shen Yun dominated and smiled, took Lingfu back, followed him and took out another Lingfu. The Lord of the Blood Sword, starting today you are my friend of Jyoti Pavilion. There is a sign here to represent you. Wu Jianso nodded slightly and put the order symbol into the ring. I have done what you said, that Jinyuan God fruit. Jian Wushuang's words were not finished yet. The Lord of the Blood Sword, please rest assured that within 500 years, I will surely send all the Jinyuan God fruits and those treasures on this list to the Star Palace. As for the cosmic source stones needed. Blood, the Lord of the Swords, you just need to give me the cosmic source stone you own now, as for the rest, you will return it later. Shen Yun dominated and smiled. Yes. Jian Wushuang also smiled. One more thing, now that I am already recognized in the list of 9 emperors according to what you said, any information that has a lot to do with me, you Jyoti Pavilion, they will notify me as soon as possible, so now you should know what I care about most. Of course, the Lord of the Blood Sword you care about most now is the Devil Star. Shen Yun dominated with a smile. Wu Jian Wushuang nodded. The Lord of the Blood Sword, according to the information I received from the Jyoti Pavilion, the Lord of the Demon Clouds has been out of the customs not long ago, and has led his army to ride this cosmic boat towards this star field. It's so fast. It's no accident that around 950 years, the army of Devil Stars will reach this territory. Shen Yun dominated. Is it 950 years? Jian Wu's eyes narrowed and he said, I need your Jyoti Pavilion to keep an eye on the movement of this magic cloud star for me. No problem, you can leave a messenger for the Lord of the Blood Sword, but whenever there is news of Devil Cloud Star, I will send it to you as soon as possible. Yes. Jian Wushuang left a summoning order, and then left directly with the Dragon Lord. After Jian Wushuang and the Dragon Lord left, Master Shen Yun stood with the other 2 masters of Jyoti Pavilion, and all 3 smiled. Shen Yun, we have done a great job this time. One of the patrons laughed. It's a great achievement. Lord Shen Yun also laughed. The Lord of the Blood Sword has excellent talents, and his chances are also against the sky. After he fought against the ancient Night Demon King, I confess some of his information going up, I paid great attention to the Lord of the Blood Sword. After all, it is the level of the ruler who understands a trace of the law of the universe, and it is still in the most marginal place of the universe. The above means that we originally wanted us to find a way and make friends, and to find ways to include his name in the list of 9 emperors. But it's not long before the name above was passed down. I have already done it, and I know above, it will definitely be credited to us. This credit does not say how much it rewards us. As long as we are transferred from here to those big a little territory, that's enough. 9 Emperor Pavilion, although a super force in the universe, can attach equal importance to genius. Especially the super genius like Jian Wushuang, which is rare in the billions of stars. Under such conditions, although Jyoti Pavilion will not try to save its income like other great forces, it must be to make friends with it. Okay, after all, as long as such a genius does not fall, future achievements will never be low. I invited such a super genius to be a member of the 9 Emperor list, which is indeed a great credit. For Shin Yun, who is at the edge of the universe and the most barren star field, dominates the 3, their chances of making contributions are too small. The credit now is big enough for them. Chapter 39-40? Second more. After Sun emerged from the 9 Emperor Pavilion, Jian Wushuang and the Demon Dragon Lord marched side by side in the cosmic void. Master, in fact, you can just let the Emperor Pavilion come to you to help you with a 4th or 5th rank master at the cost of a rule of treasure. After all, most 4th ranks include many 5th level masters do not have the rule of treasure in their hands. At the cost of 1 rule of treasure, I am afraid that there are many 4th rank and even 5th rank masters willing to come. Demon Dragon Lord said. You may be right. Jian Wushuang nodded slightly. It is possible to invite the strong to come out of Jyoti Pavilion, but the territory where we are now is at the extreme edge of the universe. Even among the many nearby star domains, I am afraid that it is difficult to find a 4th ranking master. Not to mention the of the 5th series, so the Judian Pavilion was calculated. The strongest one you visit must be quite far away from our star field. Even if it depends on the cosmic channel for transmission, it may not be possible in a short time. Reach this star field. Furthermore, even if there are really strong people who can reach this territory within 1,000 years, I still have a lot of concerns. Jian Wushuang Jingjing said. Worry? The Dragon Lord wondered. Magic Dragon, you should know that I haven't practiced long, but it's only 200,000 years. But in such a short period of time, I grew up step by step. Although it is only the master of the rules, the combat power is even worthy. Dominate than the 3rd grade and have also realized a trace of the law of the universe, and can even come up with the rule of Polaroid you talk about. This is what ordinary people can do? Jian Wushuang looked at the Dragon Lord. The average person really can't do it. The master is talented against the sky. The Lord of the Dragons has not finished speaking. Talent against nature is only one of the factors. Jian Wushuang interrupted directly. No matter how good a talent is in this starfield, if you don't get that kind of opportunity, it won't be possible in such a short time. This is the step to take, at least, others must think so. The Lord of the Devil Dragons froze, then nodded slowly. It is true that even him, Jian Wushuang, thinks that Jian Wushuang is too bad and too abnormal. Moreover, this kind of inverse nature cannot be achieved by purely talents. It must have obtained some great opportunities and great fortunes. You think so too? Then the question is coming. If I really invite a master of the 4th or 5th series with the rule of the treasure, this master can be completely out of my control. Although I invite come, but who can guarantee his character? Maybe he will feel that there is a big secret in my body, and he will start directly. Jian Wushuang said. Yes, it is very likely. The Lord of the Dragons focused heavily. In fact, it's unnecessary to talk about others. Just say that the Lord Dragon himself, if he is not controlled by the sword, and he is the first time to come to this star field, knowing that there is Jian Wushuang, the incomparable demon genius, even if he is subject to when the other party invites him, he will certainly make the other party's idea. Wu Jinshuang has such concerns, and it is by no means unreasonable. Only an alien lord of the demon clouds has put me into a great crisis in the beginning. It is still on the verge of life and death. If another stronger person is attracted, who knows what will happen? Swordless eyes were cold. I dare not gamble and dare not pin my hopes on strangers who I do and know. Rather than relying on strong external forces, it is better to rely on yourself. Magic Dragon, you go with me to Jianghu first. Jian Wushuang rode. Yes. The Lord Dragon nodded. Immediately, the two speeded up, and soon they came to the Magic Smoke Valley, one of the 3 major battlefields of the universe. Magic Dragon, you wait for me outside this valley of magic smoke. Jian Wushuang commanded. Yes. The Dragon Lord still commanded. Jian Wushuang went directly into the Magic Smoke Valley alone, and soon came to the depths of the Magic Smoke Valley. Life and death. Jian Wushuang passed through life and death, but then shook his head. When I left that special time and space, although I finally came out of life and death, the entrance to that special time and space may not be here. China, and there is a big crisis in life and death. I still don't take risks. Jian Wushuang did not choose to enter the time and space where Lingyun's veins fell asleep through life and death. Instead, he went to the unexplored area of the Magic Smoke Valley in accordance with his own way of entering that space and time, and entered the area in accordance with the route. In that special time and space, the ash-like void is vast and immense. There is no light at all, and there is no sky or earth. I have but nothing. This special space-time is completely different from the outside space-time. Fortunately, Jian Wushuang is not the first time to come to this special time and space, and he was not too surprised by the environment of this time and space. He set off directly toward the dark void in front of him. The dark void, Jian Wushuang swept for a while, before they saw the huge high platform floating in front. With that high platform, Jian Wushuang couldn't be more familiar. When he first came to this special time and space, he was on the high platform and was trapped by the 18 piers on that high platform for a total of 97,000 years. In the end, it was very difficult to break through the 18th battle and therefore pass the test set by the Ling Yunxing master, becoming the inner star disciple of Ling Yunxing's vein, and practicing the supreme insecure technique. At the time, Jian Wushuang also saw Feng Yimou, the top powerhouse from Ling Yunxing's vein, in this special time and space. The Wind Demon, but an extremely powerful supreme, was just too injured in the original battle, and has been sleeping in this special time and space. And when Jian Wushuang left this special time and space, the Wind Demon also said that if you encounter any trouble later, you can come to this special time and space for help. Wu Jinshuang came this time to ask for help. Okay. As soon as Wu Jinshuang approached the huge high platform, he was immediately attracted by the scene on the high platform. I saw a young man wearing a battle armor and a wicked face on the high platform, waving a golden spear and fighting 6 human figures. The breath on the young man is obviously the ruler of the rule, and he has reached the level of the 6 void realms, which is also good in marksmanship. Unfortunately, his marksmanship is obviously not the opponent of the 6 human figures. Being crushed by the 6 human figures, the situation was completely sideways. Soon after, the young man was defeated and returned to the most central part of the platform. At this time, he noticed Jian Wushuang appearing in the void near the high platform. Chapter 39-41. Third More. Golden Snake Monarch. Wu Jian's twin shape flickered and appeared directly on the high platform. You are the Lord of the Blood Sword? When the evil-skinned man Golden Snake Monarch wearing a battle armor saw the sword unparalleled, he was shocked at first but followed with ecstasy. I bet right. Gambling right. Jian Wushuang doubted. Haha, Lord of the Blood Sword, you don't know. My golden snake has deep blood and enmity. My wife and children died in the same person, and that person is the king of Dongqing. The Golden Snake Lord laughed. Dongqing King? Jian Wushuang immediately remembered the Dongqing King who had great fame among the masters of the rules of the stars. King Dongqing is a powerful man who has reached the extreme of the 6 realms. He is much stronger than the Golden Snake King. I dreamed of killing the Dongqing King, but unfortunately I was not strong enough to kill him at all, and I knew that my talents were limited. Even if it would give me another 1,000,000 or 10,000,000 years, I'm afraid I would also take this Dongqing King. There is no way at all, so I can only go to these 3 battlefields to venture out, take risks, and long for a great opportunity to kill the Dongqing King. But that great opportunity can be met but not demanded. For a long time I have not gained anything, until I knew that you came out alive from life and death. The Lord of your blood sword, before entering life and death, his strength was average, not even as good as me. But after coming out of life and death, his strength soared and he became the first person in the rule of the rule. It's a rival to the master. Obviously, you are in the territory of life and death and you have reached an incredible opportunity, so your strength has skyrocketed. The king snake stared at Jian Wushuang tightly. So, you have come to life and death? Jian Wushuang also looked at the Golden Snake Monarch. Yes, life and death have always been a big forbidden area. No one has ever been able to come out alive, but you have come out. Since you can come out alive and get great opportunities from it, why can't I? So I choose to bet. I broke into life and death and suffered several hardships in life and death. Every time I died I survived, but I had good luck. I went through many hardships along the way. Until now, I have only come to this special time and space. On this high platform, even now, I have met you. Haha, if I can meet you in this special time and space, it means that you really did get a good chance in this time and space, I bet right. The Golden Snake Monarch laughed with a madness. Wu Jinshuang looked into the eyes of the Golden Snake Monarch with a touch of compassion. This Golden Snake Monarch is because he has his own lessons learned, knowing that he has come alive from life and death, and has gained soaring strength, so he actively broke into life and death to seek the same great opportunity. I have to say that the Golden Snake Monarch is crazy, perhaps because of the deep revenge on the blood. He has never found the hope of revenge and finally has a chance to face him. Even if the chance is slim, he still wants to seize it. It's a pity that the Golden Snake Monarch is doomed to be disappointed. I got the chance in this special time and space, but as for the improvement of strength, I got up purely by my own ability in the process of getting the chance. And this golden snake monarch has reached a bottleneck in his own strength. I am afraid that he cannot break through for a long time alone. He is now trapped in this 18 team. I am afraid that he will be trapped directly like the original Star Thunder Dominator. I can't leave without death. Golden Snake Monarch. Jian Shuang said, "This time and space is indeed the place where my strength soared. There is a great opportunity here, but the condition for this great opportunity is that you can break through the 18th battle in front of you. For 10 million years, if you can break through the 18th battle in 10 million years, you will have the opportunity to avenge the king of Dongqing, but if you CNT make it through, you can only die here. Is it 10 million years?" The king of the snake's eyes narrowed slightly, and Zheng Zhenjian immediately turned his head. "In order to get revenge on my wife and children, I will definitely break through. Good luck." Qi Jian Wushuang took a deep look at the golden snake monarch and immediately left. He has already passed the test of the 18 final battles, and is about to leave now. Naturally, the 18 humanoid statues on the high platform have never stopped him. Passing from the high platform, Jian Wushuang continued to glide forward into the dark void. The 18 peerless strikes vary from person to person. At first, because I was just an undead saint, the conditions for going through the 18 peerless strokes were not so harsh, but it took me nearly 100,000 years to barely break through. In the past, the Golden Snake Monarch was a ruler. If he wanted to break through these 18 games, the conditions would be too harsh. Unless he can, as I do now, have an understanding of Kendo even more than most third-level masters, and even created a big sword skill and 2 big sword arrays, otherwise he wants to break into these 18 unique battles. It is almost impossible. Jian Wushuang shook his head and sighed. Of course, there is another way for Jin Shijun to break through the 18th battle, and that is to understand a little rule of the universe. But is this possible? Even if Jian Wushuang was in the dark, he went to the darkened demon realm and got the life core fragment of the undead ghost. With that life core fragment he could comprehend a little cosmic law. This golden snake monarch has never touched the laws of the universe before. Trapped in these 18 arrays, how can there be a chance to understand? He knew this, and Jian Wushuang said that he wished the king of the snake good luck, because in his opinion, the king of the snake was afraid that he could not go out alive from this special time and space. This golden snake monarch may be because his wife and children have been killed. His heart has already collapsed and gone mad. For revenge he can be disregarded, knowing that it is almost impossible to survive in life and death. He still has no reason to look back. To choose to bet. Jian Wushuang secretly sighed. If millenniums later my primordial world is defeated in the battle with Demon Star, then the primordial world will completely collapse. Many of my family and friends, as well as countless strong people in the primordial world, will be difficult to escape the demon cloud, the star's poisonous hand. Even if I escape by chance, it is estimated that like the Golden Snake Lord, he will be completely insane and will desperately seek revenge from the Lord of the Clouds. Seeing the Golden Snake Monarch, Jian Wushuang had compassion on his heart, and at the same time thought of the situation he faced with Taichu Divine Realm. His heart was also extremely heavy. At this time, a golden light had appeared in front of Jian Wushuang. Chapter 3942. Fourth More. This golden light shines from the deepest part of this special time and space. As this golden light gets closer and closer, its light becomes more and more dazzling. When Jian Wushuang approaches, this golden light is like a huge golden sun, shining the whole time and space thoroughly. Wu Jingguang dissipated, revealing the appearance of a tall practitioner. He is tens of feet tall, wearing golden battle armor and boots, with a golden trench on his head, and a golden spear in his hand, a golden of war. Sword Wushuang met Feng Ma predecessor. Sword Wushuang salute. I saw Feng Mo again, and Jian Wushuang was still full of shock. You know, this is a living supreme power, different from the Lord Wu of the Red Cloud Realm. The Lord Wuxian's body almost collapsed, and it has been relied on by the Red Cloud Realm to barely maintain it, and what Jian Wushuang saw in the Red Clouds is not the Lord's deity, but just an incarnation of its cohesion. Extremely powerful. The Wind Demon in front of Yun Ke's eyes, however, is a real deity. Although the Wind Demon has not been at its peak, he may not have recovered 20 to 30% of his strength, but at this moment standing in front of Jian Wu, he feels as if facing the entire sky universe, so tall and tall, but himself it is a trace of dust in the universe, very small. Wu Jin's unparalleled feeling, if this Wind Demon is willing, with one look in one eye, he can let himself die countless times. Little guy, how long have you been away from this space and time? Come back so soon? A golden battle armor like a warlike wind demon, the narrow eyes fixed on Jian Wushuang's body. Oh, break through to the ruler of the rule and... I feel a trace of the law of the universe on you. What is going on? Predecessor of the wind demon, I have realized a trace of the law of the universe. Jian Wushuang said, and he waved his hand, and immediately the power of that law of the universe had condensed in his hands. Sure enough, haha. Feng Mo's eyes brightened, but then he laughed. His laughter was ancient and mighty, and this time and space trembled wildly. The ruler can understand a trace of the universe rule. Your kid is fighting for Ling Yunxing and I really did not mistake you. Feng Ma seniors, don't hide it, I came here this time for your help. Jian Wushuangdo. Help? Feng Mo still smiled on his face. I did say before, if you have encountered anything, you can come here to help me and say what? That's right, my hometown is very special in the early days. Jian Wushuang briefly recounted the cause and effect of the incident. Within 1,000 years, no accident should be more than 900 years later, the magic cloud. The army of the Lord of the Stars will rush to this star field, and when the time comes to fight, I am not absolutely sure that I can win. Is that so? Feng Mo knew, that is to say, after more than 900 years, you will face a master who has reached the 4th rank, and this master has taken away one of the astral realms. Yes. Jian Wushuang nodded. It's a bit of a problem. Feng Ma frowned. My brothers were too badly injured in the original battle. Until now they can only stay in this special time and space, and have been asleep by special means, even if I can wake up occasionally, but after a while I have to continue to sleep, and our deities have shot it in person. And before I asked you to come to us in case of trouble because I can attach my own consciousness to you, you are a perfect life cultivator, full of divine power, and after reaching the rule of the rule, the divine power also it is comparable to ordinary masters. I really encountered a strong enemy. My consciousness directly dominates the body for you. Although there is only the divine power of ordinary masters, but with my means I can still easily kill ordinary 1st and 2nd level masters. Even if they are 3rd level masters, I have weaker ones. Grasp the killing, this is reasonably enough in your star field. Unexpectedly, the opponent you met this time has reached the 4th level. The double-sided color of the sword is also slightly changed. This is because the wind demon has survived from that war to the present, and has been sleeping in this special time and space. Over the years, there are also some practitioners who accidentally broke into this special time and space. This wind devil from those the practitioner knows that the strongest in this star field is the 1st level top master, and occasionally a 2nd level primary master will emerge. With this kind of strength, even if the demon can't take the shot, it can be swept away by relying on consciousness to attach to a rule master. Therefore, the wind demon said to himself with such confidence that if he was in trouble, he could come to they. But now, it is clear that the opponent he met exceeded the expectations of the wind demon. A 4th level master, attached to you by my consciousness, will definitely not be able to kill. I can only give you some special treasures that will allow you to kill the Lord of the Clouds. Feng Ma murmured. I have a lot of such treasures, not to mention killing the treasures dominated by the 4th level, even if it is the 5th grade, the ultimate level, and even the weaker and supreme treasures I have them, but the trouble is that most of these treasures require a certain level of repair to master or guide them out. It's like having a blood demon bead in my hand which contains the power of the horrible blood demon. Once urged, it can easily kill the ultimate master. But just to urge the blood demon's power in the blood demon bead, the strength of the 4th level and above dominates. As for the other treasures, most of them are similar to this blood devil. Wu Jinshuang heard it and was a little dumbfounded. He understood the meaning of the wind demon, that is, he had the treasures killed by the 4th level master in his hands, but the key is that these treasures are extremely high level, and were not originally intended to deal with the 4th ranked master, but used to deal with the ultimate level of domination. To deal with the supreme, he used to deal with the 4th level of is a big deal. The most important thing is that even if the treasures are given to him, he can't use them, he can't lead the power out of those treasures. No way, I'm as supreme as I say and I'm relatively strong among them. Although I collected a lot of treasures in my hands, these treasures must have a higher level. Those lower levels are only used to deal with the 1st. The 4th ranked 5th ranked dominator, I have long left it to his disciples, and now you want me to find a treasure that can deal with the 4th ranked master and that you, the ruler of the rule, can guide. It's not easy. Howling Wind Devil looks a bit bitter. Chapter 39:43. The first is more. You guys don't worry. The wind demon laughed again, Although I don't have the treasure you can use, maybe my brothers have it in my hands. In this way you just wait for a while here, I will go to my few brother asked. There are seniors with labor. Jianwu Shuangdo. Immediately the wind demon turned and walked toward the deepest part of this dark void, while Jianwu Shuang stood still and waited silently. After a while, the wind demon in a golden armor appeared again in front of Jianwu Shuang. You guys, you have good luck. My brothers have 2 treasures in their hands that can help you. Feng Imo smiled, turned his hands, a cyan bamboo leaf and a unique breath. Scarlet pill appeared in front of Jianwu Shuang. Bamboo leaves, blood Dan? Jianwu Shuang stunned. The first thing he looked at was the green bamboo leaf. The green bamboo leaf looks ordinary to the naked eye, and it is no different from ordinary bamboo leaves. However, with the consciousness of Jianwu Shuang covering it, it is found that there is a terrible power hidden in this bamboo leaf. This hidden power made Jianwu Shuang frightened. This bamboo leaf was originally in the hands of a 5th-ranking master, and no accident should be made by the 5th-ranking master himself. It is estimated that it was prepared for his disciples. Unfortunately, in an encounter, the 5th-level master accidentally offended one of my brothers and was killed by my brother, and the bamboo leaves fell into the hands of my brother. The madman smiled. This bamboo leaf was made by the 5th-ranking master himself. Although the means are relatively general, it also contains some of the power of a 5th-ranking master. With your current strength, it just barely guided this might, and under normal circumstances, it should be no problem to kill the general 4th-level master. Jian's eyes flashed. A refined treasure that the 5th-ranking master dominates himself contains some of the power of the 5th-ranking master? It is no surprise that the Demon Cloud Master is only the 4th-level master level, and it has just broken through not long. If he guides the power of this bamboo leaf, he may be very likely to kill the Demon Cloud Master directly. Where is this blood Dan? Jianwu Shuang looked at the scarlet tan medicine again. The color of this elixir is like blood and the breath is very unique. Jianwu Shuang did not recognize this elixir at all. Not only him but even on him the knowledge was better. The magic flame that was dominated by the ultimate level during his lifetime was not recognized. This elixir is very special. The look of Wind Demon became solemn. It can bring your strength to a whole new level in a short period of time, but you also have to pay a huge price after the same thing. This price it's very expensive, so I do indeed want you to swallow this elixir unless you have to. Wu Jianshou couldn't help but glance at the scarlet elixir and asked, if I swallow this elixir will I die afterwards? It is possible to survive but it is also possible to die directly. Feng Imo said directly. Jian's eyes narrowed slightly. He did not expect that the second treasure given to him by Wind Demon turned out to be such an elixir that would cost a great deal. Once this elixir is swallowed it will have the power of life. I give you this elixir just in case but I don't want you to swallow this elixir. Feng Imo stared at Jianwu Shuang. The younger generation understands. The sword has no double emphasis, and the wave of the bamboo leaves and blood color in front of the sword into the ring. Well, what you can give is already for you, you can leave. The Wind Demon waved. The junior retired. Jianwu Shuang gave a little gift to Feng Imo, even if he turned and left. I watched Jianwu Shuang leave, but the corner of the Wind Demon evoked a special arc, and followed him to the depths of this special spacetime. There I was, a few consciousnesses had woke up briefly. Old Fourth, what's wrong? One of them asked consciously. I have given those 2 treasures to this little guy. Feng Imo smiled. How did you tell him? Another consciousness began. I'm telling the truth about that bamboo leaf but that elixir. I said that elixir can make him burst into higher combat power in a short period of time, but the price he must bear afterwards will be immense, and may even be caused him to die directly, said Feng Ma. How come you say that? The 4th child, this little guy, but you have been deceived. What if this little guy was really forced into despair one day and swallowed that elixir and found out that it was not what you said at all? What would he do? These awakening consciousnesses all started to talk. If that time comes, he will certainly have the determination to die. With this determination, if he swallows that elixir, the benefits will be even greater. Feng Ma said directly. Well, what you said makes sense. Several ancient beings sleeping in this special spacetime all nodded. These ancient beings are top powerhouses under Ling Yunxing's pulse. Each of them has supreme combat power and they are still strong among them. At first they followed His Majesty Ling Yun, who was the master of Ling Yun's horse. In that battle they also played a very strong combat power. Unfortunately, Ling Yunxing's pulse was almost destroyed in the end. Countless strong the killer was killed, and even the Ling Yunxing Lord had left and did not know where he had gone. As for a few of them, they all fell asleep in this special time and space, and after a long period of deep sleep, they have hardly asked the world, and the reason why these consciousnesses have awakened one after another today is purely because of the relationship between swordsmen. After a long period of deep sleep, a little guy finally came into their eyes. The most important thing is that this little guy is so invincible that they will naturally pay more attention to one or two. And the wind magic had just handed 2 treasures to Jianghu Shuang. Jane bamboo leaves are indeed a 5th series dominated refining, containing some of the treasures of attack power. But the real role of the blood dan is exactly the same as what Feng Mo said, but the price that must be borne after swallowing etc., is actually all compiled by Feng Mo. Just kidding, Ling Yongxing's pulse is not much left now, and Jian Wushuang has only become the inner star disciple of Ling Yongxing's pulse in recent years, and not only has he passed the 18th set by Master Ling Yun himself, the test of perfection has now mastered a little cosmic law at the main level of rules. Such a dazzling genius, these strong men in Ling Yunxing's vein must have gone to great lengths to take refuge. How could it be possible to give Jian Wushuang an elixir that is at risk of death? The reason why Feng Mo will say that is that he only hopes that Jian Wushuang can survive the crisis on his own ability, and do not use that elixir. End of this chapter. Chapter 39-44. Second more. Coming out of that special time and space, Jian Wushuang relaxed a lot. He came to find the strong man from Ling Yongxing's veins this time. Although he didn't get the absolute treasure and strength that can kill the Demon Star Master, his gain was still great. The 2 treasures given to him by the Howling Demon, that is, Bamboo Leaves and Blood Dan, are both huge cards that can be used to deal with the Demon Star Master. I have 2 cards in my hand, and Jian Wushuang's grasp of the Master of the Demon Star is naturally a little bigger. Jian Wushuang did not continue to stay in the Magic Smoke Valley, soon left the Magic Smoke Valley, and merged with the Dragon Lord, and then rushed back to the Star Palace as quickly as possible. After returning to Xingong, Jian Wushuang immediately went to meet a few people of Shen Shinto and the Lord of Mars. Shen, during this period of time, have these people under me ever been honest? Jian Wushuang asked. It's okay. Mysterious Shinto smiled. I have vacated one of the 3 planet stars in my star palace to live for them, and in addition to these years, in addition to women's sexuality, food, wine and other aspects apart from some of the small requirements of the United States, they are fairly peaceful. That's all right. Jian Wushuang nodded slightly. Those people under me have been trapped in a prison for a long time. I'm afraid they've been crumbling. As long as they don't ask too much, some small demands promise. They are. I know. Shen Shinto nodded with a smile. Where is the strong? The news of my star palace spread before. Should there be many strong come to the Star Palace? Jian Wushuang asked again. Of course, the lowest are top-level arcana, followed by the peak arcana and even the strongest arcana as a reward. How can the rulers of this star domain, including those masters, stop the temptation? It is only a few decades now. There are already a large number of strong men who either came in person or summoned me to the horoscope, promising to fight for my horoscope. This is just the beginning. I estimate that there will be more and more strong people invited from the back. In addition, in the early days, the gods in these early years rely on the triple path to be far from being born. Wait for the magic cloud star. When the army really arrives, our side can at least make up the army of the master of hundreds of thousands of rules. Shen Shinto humane. Is the master of hundreds of thousands of rules? Jian Wushuang nodded slightly. This number is still his expectation. Stonefire, how are you preparing for the battlefield? Jian Wushuang looked at the next Lord of Stone Mars again. Back to the master, the battle formations used by the rulers are very easy to solve. I have prepared a full quartet battle formation. These quartet battle formations are performed by different numbers of people. The power is also different. The simple battle formation requires only 1,000 rule masters to work together. After the performance, the battle force of this 1,000-man battle formation can definitely surpass the first-level master, even if it is ordinary. Dominated by the second level, I am afraid that in the face of such a 1,000-man battle array, he can only retreat. As for the second-level battle formation at a higher level, which requires a full 10,000 rule masters to play together, the power is naturally stronger. The strongest fourth law formation can even let the 100,000 rule masters join forces. Work together. The Flint Martian master Xiang Jian Wushuang slowly recounted that Jian Wushuang also listened very satisfied. I have to say that the war prepared by the Lord of Mars is indeed full and the power is very good. In addition to the main army of the rules, I also designed some battle formations for the powerful ones who dominated the level. One of these battle formations is called the Fairy Battle Formation. This battle formation is extremely powerful, even in the deepest universe. At the same time, among the many kingdoms of God, there is no small reputation, and this fairy war battle array has 5 weights. One weight is heavier than the other, and one weight is heavier than the other. When I was in the army of one of the kingdoms of gods, I had contact with it. I can accomplish this together in the formation method, but I can only understand the first battle line. This first battle line, it takes 36 full-blown strong men to be able to perform. Stone Mars arrived. Immortal battle array? Jianghu Shuang secretly surprised. One battlefield is actually divided into 5 different levels, and the requirements are obviously not the same. This battlefield can be at the deepest part of the vast universe, and the gods of that side have great fame, and their power can be I figured it out. 36 masters. My slaves are very tyrannical, and all of them have reached the 3rd rank, and they are also the real strong among the 3rd rank masters. Yes, if 36 people were selected from them to form this fairy battle, what would the power be? Jianghu Shuang asked. Master, this is what I want to tell you. If the master can select 36 strong men from the servants to enlighten and cultivate this immortal battle, then even if it is only the first battle, and these slaves do not need mastering these battle formations to a very high level, as long as they are basically mastered, with the respective strengths of these slaves and relying on the battle formations, it is absolutely possible to easily erupt the 4th level domination. If they have a better grasp of this battle array, then they will be stronger through the outbreak of the battle array, said the Lord of Mars. Hearing this, Jianghu Shuang couldn't help getting excited. The Lord of the Clouds is likely to have reached the 4th level. No one of his slaves is one of the opponents of the Lord of the Clouds. Even if they are joined together, I am afraid that they cannot compete with the Lord of the Clouds. If you can rely on the battlefield and perfectly combine the power of these slaves, then there may be room for competition. What's more, this fairy battlefield put out by the Lord of Mars is still so good. Stonefire, I want you to immediately select 36 people from my slaves to form a fairy battle. Jianghu Shuangdo. Master, it is not difficult to form a battlefield of fairy tales. The key is to master this battle of fairy tales, at least it must be a little bit lighter so that the battle of fairy tales can be sure to deal with the Lord of the Clouds. The battlefield is extremely esoteric and complicated. Even the simplest battlefield is not easy to master. These servants of the master have strengths and weaknesses as well as high and low perceptions. The key is that they have not much time left. They only have more than 900 years. I am worried that for such a short time, there is no way to master the fairy battle formation, let alone to master it. Well? Jianghu Shuang frowned, but suddenly he stared. Yes, the Tower of Time and Space. The Tower of Time and Space in the Temple of Time and Space. At this moment, Jianghu Shuang thought of the Space-Time Tower originally seen in the Space-Time Temple, but many thoughts immediately appeared in his mind. Chapter 39:45. Third more. The Tower of Time and Space can change the flow rate of time. Even the simplest first layer, when the cultivation time is inside, only 1 year has passed in the outside world, which is extremely magical. When Jianghu Shuang saw the Tower of Time and Space for the first time, he was shocked by the Tower of Time and Space, and the Lord of Time and Space said that the Tower of Time and Space was made by him. Wuxia later came to the universe battlefield, and gradually understood the secrets of this star field. After having a certain understanding of the vast universe, Jianghu Shuang knew that the Lord of Time and Space Palace was lying to him at first. Yes, the Tower of Time and Space did undergo the refining of the Lord of Time and Space, but the Lord of Time and Space only re-refined the Tower of Time and Space to restore it to some extent on the premise that the Tower of Time and Space already existed. The Tower of Time and Space itself is a special treasure that the Lord of Time and Space obtained from the universe battlefield, and it is still in the damaged stage. The master of the space-time temple itself is extremely clever in the use of time and space. Under the premise that the space-time tower already exists, the space-time tower was reluctantly restored to a part of its power. Tower. The Tower of Time and Space can change the velocity of time. Although entering the Tower of Time and Space can hardly sense the rules of heaven and earth and the laws of the universe, even Kendo Ucant practice enlightenment, but in the Tower of Time and Space, it's okay to delve into something that has nothing to do with external factors and only takes a lot of time. For example, the formation method and some superb secrets. If it is outside, a powerful formation will take a long time to study, but if you study in the Tower of Time and Space, it will reduce the time a lot. Wu Jian's eyes have slowly lightened. Shen, please trouble you to invite time and space. Jian Wushuang rode. After a few days, in the beginning, the realm of the gods was in the mysterious realm where the temple of time and space was located. A delicate black tower was suspended there quietly. This black tower was not tall, but it was divided into 3 floors. The Tower of Time and Space. I looked at the black tower in front of me, and a strange color appeared in the sword's eyes. When he was an undead sage, he knew that the Tower of Time and Space was extremely magical, but he didn't really practice it here. After all, in the Tower of Time and Space, although the flow of time is slow, it is isolated from the heavens and the earth and can only be used to study some special methods, but it is impossible to practice the rules of understanding the heavens and the earth. The Tower of Time and Space is indeed quite extraordinary. When I first got it, I thought it was a very special and most powerful arcana, even a rule of arcs. But later I discovered that it is not. It is just a special space and time. It's a treasure, and the most important thing is that it is too badly damaged. The internal structure and countless normal arrays have damaged 99%. After I got it, it took me a long time to rely on my understanding of space and time. Restore it to what it is now, said the Lord of Time and Space. Time and space, I will wait to enter the Tower of Time and Space to study array or battle array, should not be subject to any restrictions? Jian Wushuang asked. There are some restrictions, the Lord of Time and Space solemnly said. First of all, if the time flow rate in the Tower of Time and Space is to run all the time, it will cost a lot. This price is only a bit for the Temple of Time and Space. It's heavy, but it's nothing to the current Star Palace, to the whole Taizhou Divine Realm. In addition, the legal array on the 3rd floor of the Tower of Time and Space has not been completely perfected, so multiple people cannot enter it at one time. Only one person can enter at a time. As for the 2nd and 3rd floors, there are no restrictions. Wu Jianso nodded slightly and said, Then please try your best to maintain the operation of this space-time tower over the years. No problem. The Lord of Time and Space nodded. Magic Dragon. Jian Wushuang looked behind him, including 36 of them. The 36 people were selected by him from his 41 slaves, including the 2 strongest lords, the Dragon Lord and the Scorpion Lord. 36 of you have entered the 2nd floor of the Tower of Time and Space from today, and are devoted to studying the immortal battle array given to you by the Lord of Mars. I will give you at most 800 years and 800 years outside. In the 2nd space of the Tower of Time and Space, there is a full 80,000 years. You should be able to master the battle array basically. After 800 years you will practice the running in. Jian Wushuangdo. Yes. The 36 lords and other slaves took orders at the same time. Stonefire, you also go in to help them master the battle array. Jian Wushuang commanded again. Yes, master. The Lord of Mars also nodded. Immediately 36 people, including the Lord of Mars and the Lord of the Dragons, immediately entered the 2nd space of the Tower of Time and Space. After they entered the Tower of Time and Space, Jian Wushuang also directly strode toward the Tower of Time and Space. He went to the 3rd floor. The 3rd floor of the Tower of Time and Space is a simple open space. Jian Wushuang stands on the open space, but can clearly sense that the time flow rate of this open space is completely different from the outside world. The 2nd layer of the space-time tower has a time flow rate 100 times slower than the outside world, and this 3rd layer is 1,000 times. Jian Wushuang clenched his hands tightly 1,000 times the time flow rate. In other words, he practiced here for 1,000 years, and the outside world only passed a year. Of course, the shortcoming is that this space is completely isolated from the outside world, and it is impossible to understand the rules, the laws of the universe, and even kendo. However, it is okay to delve into perfection and perfect the sword array. I have created 3 major sword arts, including Wave Light Sword Art and Earth Guard Sword Array, both of which have been improved into Wave Light Sword Array and Earth Guard Sword Array, and these 2 sword arrays have already obtained a lot under the guidance of the Lord of Mars. The degree is perfect, but it has not reached the extreme. Jian Wushuang squinted slightly. His 2 sword arrays do have a lot of room for improvement. Not only these 2 major sword formations, but also the hazy sword formation. He created the strongest attacking swordsmanship. From the perspective of Jian Wushuang, it is also possible to transform into a hazy sword formation. Once the hazy sword skill is transformed into a sword array, his attack power will greatly increase. At that time, his 3 major sword arrays will kill the enemy, entangle the enemy, the strongest defense, and combine the 3. If there are any flaws, then his strength will naturally be different. No matter it is evolution or to continue to improve his sword formation, he needs a lot of time, and staying in this Tower of Eternity, the time flow speed is 1,000 times slower, which just gives him plenty of time to delve into his 3 major sword array. Let's start. In the third space of the Tower of Time and Space, Jian Wushuang has begun to immerse himself in the evolution and improvement of his sword array. Chapter 3946. 4 more arrived today. Time goes by day. I blinked in 400 years. For 400 years outside, you can be in the third space of the Tower of Time and Space, and the time flow rate is slowed down by the predecessors. Jian Wushuang has studied for 400,000 years. For Jian Wushuang, who has been practicing for only 200,000 years, this 400,000 years is extremely long and boring, but he has tolerated it. The purpose is naturally to further improve his sword array, and thus face when the Lord of the Clouds is in charge, he can be as confident as possible. In these 400,000 years, the Wave Lightsaber Array and the Earth Guard Sword Array that Jian Wushuang had evolved before have now become more horizontal, especially the Wave Lightsaber Array. Combining battles that might be stronger. As for another attacking sword array, the Hazy Sword Array Jian Wushuang has already been completed, and now it has been improved step by step, and the power has also been greatly improved. I reached this step, and by reason Jian Wushuang had little room for improvement, but he was still enlightening in the Tower of Time and Space. Until the 410th year, which means 40,000 years in the Tower of Time and Space. Tianho Xiaoyu. The voice of the Lord of Time and Space suddenly sounded in the third space of the Tower of Time and Space. Time and space, is it all right? Jian Wushuang looked up slightly. Xianxin came over and said that Xin Yun, the first patron of the Jyoti Pavilion, was now in the Xingong Palace. Sovereign Xin Yun? Jian Wushuang looked. Many treasures I bought in the Jyoti Pavilion. Lord Xin Yun said at the time that it would be delivered to me within 500 years. Now it has passed 410 years. See, here comes all the treasures. Since Xin Yun's has arrived, Jian Wushuang naturally did not intend to continue to study in the Tower of Time and Space, but immediately left the Tower of Time and Space and even set off toward the Star Palace. The Xingxing Palace, the Magnificent Palace. The gods of Xian and the Lord of the Heaven sect all sit on the throne, while sitting opposite is dominated by Xin Yun. As for the other 2 masters of the Temple of Time and Space and the ancestors of the Xingong Palace, they are both in the early divine realm and have no conscious incarnations. Xianxin, you and I have had several faces. At the beginning, you personally went to my 9 Emperors' Pavilion to exchange treasures. I remember when I first saw you, you seemed to have been embarrassed by the enemy. Yes, but now, you are very beautiful. I heard that your current combat power has been able to catch up with the top masters, and there are several strongest treasures in hand. Alas, there are few people in this star field now. It's your opponent. Xin Yun dominated and laughed, but with a bit of praise in words. Xin Yun dominated the joke. In terms of strength, you are much better than me. As for the current scenery of my Star Palace, it is also because a powerful genius has appeared in my Star Palace. I am the master of the palace, but it's just a matter of trust. Ho Xiaoyu's blessing. Xian Shinto also laughed and was very happy in his heart. I am touted also depends on people. If it is said that the ruler of the Xian Shinto is standing in front of him, or a ruler with very ordinary strength, this kind of touting will dismiss the Xian Shinto. Sun Ku now touts him in front of him, but is dominated by Xin Yun. As the first master of Judian Pavilion, he is definitely the best in this star field. Of course, the toasts of such strong players are certainly happy in the heart. This shows that the current Star Palace is indeed tyrannical enough, so that even Xin Yun's dominion is polite to him. Yes, Xianxin, not long ago the ancient Night Demon Palace has left this star field. Xin Yun dominated suddenly. Ancient Night Demon King? He left. Xian Shinto stunned. Although the strength of the Star Palace has been increasing at a horrible rate in recent years, almost every day the ruler and even the master actively take the initiative to come to the door and promise to fight for the Star Palace. In just a few hundred years, the overall strength of the Star Palace has now reached an incredible point. I said rudely, now that this star field is afraid that it has more than 50% of its combat power, standing on the side of the Star Palace. There is no way the temptation of the top arcana, the peak arcana and even the strongest arcana, in this star field almost no one can resist. However, although the Star Palace is extremely powerful, it has gradually suppressed the ancient Night Demon Palace led by the ancient Night Demon King, but the ancient Night Demon Palace is still a major force in this star domain, the ancient Night Demon King, in under the premise that the Star Palace does not shoot, in this star field is still unbeatable. But now the ancient Night Devil has left this star field. The departure of this ancient night demon king may be related to those strong men brought back by Xiaoho Xiaoyu. Shinto could not help thinking. He guessed right. If under normal circumstances the ancient night demon had just come out of the eternal dark prison not long, had not enjoyed many happy days and really did not rush away. Since Ku Wushuang entered the eternal dark prison and brought back a large number of strong men from the eternal dark prison, this ancient night devil can't sit still. I want to know that the strong men brought back by Jian Wushuang can easily kill him. Anyone is the existence that makes him fully look forward to. Although he knows that these strong men are now slaves to Jian Wushuang, obeying the deployment of Jian Wushuang, it is difficult to guarantee that Jian Wushuang will relax the restrictions on these strong men. By then, any of these strong men will look at him unpleasantly, may kill him directly. After all, he is the master of a second-level peak, but he has created a great power in this star domain, becoming a party overlord, very happy. But these stronger third-level series, even the eternal dark prison, the king's demon dragon lord and demon scorpion lord, they can only become slaves, and follow Jian Wushuang's side, obeying Jian Wushuang's dispatch. This completely unequal treatment will inevitably make these people unbalanced and jealous. Therefore the ancient night demon king chose to leave this star field. It is relatively wise. Tianho Xiaoyu has returned to the Shingon. Shinto suddenly looked up. Are you back? As soon as Xin Yun dominated his eyes, he immediately stood up. Soon Jian Wushuang appeared in this temple. Xin Yun dominates. Jian Wushuang smiled and said hello to Master Xin Yun. As for the Shinto and the Lord of the Heavens, he nodded. The Lord of the Blood Sword, I heard that you have been staying in the Taiji Divine Cultivation these years to practice. I shouldn't disturb you when I arrive this time? Xin Yun ruled. My strength has already fallen into a bottleneck. Even in the past few years of training, progress has been extremely slow. There is nothing to disturb, but Xin Yun dominates your visit this time, hoping to bring me good news. Jian Wushuang looked at Xin Yun with a smile. Chapter 3947. Chapter 1 is here. The Lord of the Blood Sword, I have brought all the things you want, and as I said before, they will be delivered to you in 500 years. Xin Yun's did not disappoint Jianshou Shuang, and he took out a ring of heaven and handed it to Jianshou Shou. After Wu Jianshou took it, his eyes lighted up immediately after his consciousness swept. Within the Changshuan ring, it is the special spar such as the Golden Fire Demon Stone, Ice Yuan Crystal and Blood Dragon Crystal that he previously bought in the Nine Emperors Pavilion, as well as the second and third weight of his supreme immortal Shen body. Many special treasures are needed, including the extremely special Golden Source Fruit. Jyoti Pavilion really did not disappoint me. Jian Wushuangdo. Of course. Xin Yun dominated and smiled. Yes, the movement of the Demon Cloud Star has been paying attention to these 9 years. I have recently received information that the Demon Cloud Army is passing by a star field. At that time I stayed for a while. Of course, I didn't stay for a long time, less than 1 year. As for the purpose of the stay, I don't know yet. I will make it clear for the Lord of the Blood Swords as soon as possible. Thanks a lot. Jian Wushuang thanked him. You're welcome. The Lord of the Blood Sword is a friend of my Jyoti Pavilion. These little things are nothing. Xin Yun ruled humbly. If there is nothing else, I will leave. Xin Yun, I'll send you off. Shinto immediately got up to give away. Jian Wushuang is standing in place, looking at the Qingquan ring in his hand, his eyes glowing with a strong light. Before long, Jian Wushuang returned to the Tower of Time and Space again. The time flow of the Tower of Time and Space is slow. It can be used not only to study the array but also to practice mystery. Flames, 30 gold fire magic stones, 50 ice crystals, 300 blood dragon crystals. I now send them into the blood-colored gourd. You go to devour and absorb. Jian Wushuangdo. Yes. The magic flame nodded, his voice clearly with a touch of excitement. The master, rest assured that with these spar, it won't be long before my swallowing gold body can recover 20% of the peak period. When my soul body will control this respecting the divine body, at the very least I can return to the highest level of the third series, but with my means, even if it is only the highest level of the third series, I can also exert the fighting power of the fourth series. The Lord of the Demon Cloud should have just broken through to reach the fourth level. To defeat him, I have 90% certainty. As for killing him, I have no less than 50% certainty. Well, then you work hard. Jian Wushuang's answer to the magic flame is quite satisfied. I defeated Jiuqing by 90% and killed by nearly 50%. It was already very high, and it was worth his great price to get these special crystals for Demon Flame. After Jian Wushuang sent those gold and fire magic stones, Ice Yuan crystals and Blood Dragon crystals into the gourd, he himself sat down. With a wave of his sleeve robe, special treasures appeared in front of him. There are dozens of these treasures, and there are dozens of them, which are used to assist in the cultivation of the second most important immortal body. Let's start. The sword is dignified without two sides. Extreme Supreme is the mystery of Ling Yongxing's veins. It is very high level. Even the strongest of the supreme level can practice, and after the cultivation is successful, it will be of great use to the supreme. The main level of the current rule of Jian Sword Wushuang can be practiced in the first 3 levels at the same time. It took a lot of time to practice the first level alone. As for the second level and the third level, it will naturally take longer. Fortunately, in the Tower of Time and Space, the flow of time is 1,000 times slower than the outside world, or even if these treasures are obtained, Jian Wushuang will not be sure that the second incarnation of the Supreme Immortal Mystic will be before the arrival of the Demon Star Army Third Refining. Time has passed. In the Tower of Time and Space, a full 3,000 years have passed, and only 3 years have passed in the outside world. The Supreme Immortal Mystery is the second most important. Buzzing. Jian Wushuang still sits on the 3rd floor of the Space and Time Tower. The body trembles slightly, but Jian Wushuang can very clearly sense the kind of emanation emanating from his body at the moment, extremely sturdy and extremely arrogant. Yeah, it's tough and overbearing. Extreme Supreme is the most important of the undestructible mystic body, which makes the sword unparalleled body directly comparable to the elementary universe. Now that he is refining to the second level, Jian Wushuang has carefully searched and inspected it. He estimates that his current body is already up to the average top treasure. Compared to the top-level universe treasures. Jian Wu's eyes narrowed slightly. Under normal circumstances, the first priority of the supreme immortal mysticism is to get started. The refining of Chengdu can only be comparable to the elementary universe treasure. If the second priority is to be refined, the general deities can reach the higher universe treasure. People, you can reach the top-level treasure. The sword is unparalleled. Obviously, it is the kind of person with strong foundation and extremely strong physique. When he is refined, the body is directly comparable to the top treasure. This is only the second and then the third. Swords were released from the eyes of his sword, and his sleeve robe was swung again, and dozens of various treasures appeared on him. In front of these treasures, the most conspicuous is the golden fruit. Jinyuan God fruit, the value is amazing. Simply swallowing directly can greatly increase the strength of the body. In the vast universe, it is also a rare treasure. Many masters of the 4th and 5th series are eager to get such treasure, used to strengthen your own body. And if this Jinyuan fruit is combined with some special methods to make elixir, or it is combined with mystery cultivation, the effect is even better. Now, this Jinyuan fruit is the third most important part of the sword Wushuang's cultivation of the supreme immortal mystery. In the Tower of Time and Space, Jian Wushuang once again cultivated the third resurgence of the supreme immortal Shen. The third priority is longer than the second priority. It took a full 8,000 years, but the outside world only passed 8 years. The supreme immortal mystery is the third most important thing. Wu Jianshou clenched his hands tightly and was able to feel the great transformation of his own body. Surprises and excitement appeared in his eyes. He can feel that after making the third immortal of the supreme immortal body, the body is 10 times stronger than before. If the strength of his body before was just barely comparable to the top universe treasure, then his strength of the body is already comparable to the strongest treasure. Yes, it is the strongest treasure. Extreme is the third most important immortal body. The limit that can be cultivated by the ruler of the rule, the body is the strongest universe treasure. This is the most extreme ruler in the vast universe that can be reached on the body, and this body is also a legend among the rulers. Chapter 39-48. Second more. Compared to the strongest treasure body, the strength of this body is much stronger than before. Jian Wushuang muttered. Before, he just made it into the first place. The body is comparable to the elementary high treasure, but now it is the strongest high treasure. There are several levels in the middle. How can it be the same? Now he has such a terrible and overbearing body. If he encounters the first level master, even if the top master takes the shot himself, Jian Wushuang does not need to move when he moves, and he can bombard him on the opponent's attack. At best, it can only tickle him. After all, in this star field, the highest level magic soldiers used by the masters are the strongest cosmic treasures. the hardest of the most powerful cosmic treasures. The first series dominated with a full blow and couldn't shake the slightest. Even if his servants are his masters, all of them are the masters of the third series, and they are all very strong in the third series, but now the sword has no double-sided against these slaves. Even if they do not shoot, do not resist, these servants will not be afraid of his injuries too much, and if he wears the highest level of the best treasures of the most precious treasures, armor and soul armor, these slaves will be more difficult to hurt him. Moreover, the body is comparable to the strongest treasure, which for Jian Wushuang not only improves the strength of the body and the ability to protect the body, the power contained in such a powerful body is equally strong and outrageous. You must know that Jian Wushuang itself is only the master of rules. Compared with other masters in divine power, it has always occupied an absolute disadvantage. His divine power, even because he is a perfect life, is only comparable to the first-level elementary master. Even if he uses many secret skills, the willpower that has been given by the laws of the universe etc., the divine power is still very weak, can only reach the second level, and then rely on the rule of the supreme treasure Wu Weeping Sword, the power can reach the peak of the second level. But this is also his extreme, unless the magic of dragon extinction is burned. But now, the strongest treasure body, the strength of this body alone, Jian Wushuang is estimated not to be weaker than the highest peak of the first level. He then performed a number of mysterious methods. His divine power could reach the peak of the second level, and relying on the Wu Weeping Sword, now he is purely in power and should be barely comparable to the third level. This is undoubtedly a huge improvement for his overall strength. The three major sword formations I have created are all very subtle. In the past years of research in the Ion Tower, I have even promoted these three major sword formations to the extreme. The sword formation is extremely powerful. Now my divine power, the power has also skyrocketed, and the three major sword arrays will become even more terrible. Sword Wushuang held it firmly with both hands. His own strength is also important to the next battle with Demon Star. After knowing that the Demon Star army will reach this star field within 1,000 years, Jian Wushuang has begun to calculate the combat power and whole card possessed by his camp. First of all, on the bright side, the Star Palace has gathered a large number of rulers of this star field in recent years, plus a large number of powerful men born in the early days with the help of the Triple Path Realm. When the battle with the Magic Cloud Star, it is inevitable there are an army of hundreds of thousands of rulers, and the rulers of these rules also have top arcane or peak arcane. In addition, the masters of these rules also formed a battle array, and the combat power that can be shipped will be stronger. As for the master, there are also many in his camp, and they all have the strongest treasures, and even a master may have several strong treasures. These are all forces on the bright side. These forces are now no secret at all in this star field. Most people know that when the army of devil stars arrives, just ask someone to ask. It is estimated that there will be so many rulers in the early gods. Of the army there are many dominate the existence. However, this bright power can only cope with the army under the Demon Star. Demon Star, after all, is a second-level astral world. It has extremely high-level combat power. The Demon Star alone should be the master of the fourth rank. His Majesty also has a lot of strong. I am afraid that there are many masters in the series and the second series. These top fighting powers of the Demon Cloud Star, in the early days, the power of the Divine Realms camp relying solely on the bright side could not compete or even resist. However, in the early days of the Divine Realm, one side did not show up on the bright side, and there was a lot of hidden combat power. On the 41 slaves brought back from the eternal dark prison by the sword alone, this power is terrible enough to deal with the army of the Magic Cloud Star, other than the powerful Magic Cloud Star Master. The existence of these slaves is also a secret in the horoscope. Not many people know it. Even if Devil Star can get the news through some means, it is impossible to know what level these slaves brought back by Jian Wushuang. Strong. When the real war broke out, the two camps were fighting. The gods in the early days would be able to crush the Devil Star army if they were the best. But it is the Magic Cloud Star camp is really terrible, and the sword is unparalleled. There is always only one, that is the Magic Cloud Star Master. After all, it is a fourth-level master. Even if it is just a breakthrough, I am not afraid to mess with it. However, Jian Wushuang also prepared for the means to deal with the Demon Star Master. He now has 3 combat powers and 2 whole cards, both of which are used to deal with the Demon Star Master. First of all, it is himself. Now, he is undoubtedly the strongest combat power of the gods in the early days. When he was in Eternal Dark Prison before, he got 3 Town monuments, cast the Magic Town magic circle, and cooperated with his sword array to display he already had the ability to kill the Dragon Lord. But now he has deliberately studied for more than 400,000 years in the Tower of Eternity, and has spawned 3 major sword formations, all of which are extremely arrogant. In addition, he has trained the Supreme Immortal to the 3rd level, which is comparable to the strongest treasure, God Body, so that his strength soared again. Now, if he is going all out to perform the magic of the Magic Town, he is confident that he will fight against the Demon Star Master. Even if he cannot defeat the opponent, he can rely on the sword array to entangle the opponent, and the problem should be small. Even if the power of the Demon Star is beyond his expectation, the big sword Jinshuang directly casts the Dragon Extermination skill, and the burning power makes his strength soar again, then he can also fight the Demon Star. If the Demon Star Master has a lower strength than he expected, he will use Dragon Extermination to fully control the sword array. It is even more likely that the Demon Star Master will be killed on the spot. Chapter 39-49. Third More. Shan Danjian Wushuang owns this combat power. He has the capital to compete with the Lord of the Stars. The second largest combat force is the battlefield of his sister-in-law, composed of 36 slaves. This fairy battlefield is the strongest battlefield that the Lord of Mars can come up with. It only takes 36 masters to work together, and all 36 of his servants are 3rd ranks. Dominating the combat power, 36 people are united in a battle line, and the combat power displayed in a short period of time can also reach the 4th level, and even in the 4th level is still very strong. In recent years, the 36 slaves have been staying in the Tower of Time and Space to enlighten the battle formation, and they have basically mastered it till now. Equals to the outbreak of the Battle of the Demon Star, this battle line must be able to play out. As for the 3rd combat power, it is the Magic Flame. At the peak of the Demon Flame, he was the master of the ultimate level. Although only the soul body is left, his gold-swallowing body has begun to be reshaped, relying on the gold fire magic stone, ice crystal, and blood that Jian Wushuang bought from Jiudi Pavilion Dragon Crystal. The magic gold-swallowing body can be restored to 20%. When the magic flame soul body dominates the gold-swallowing body, it is also a large 4th level dominating combat power. According to the magic flame himself, he has 90% certainty that he can defeat the Lord of the Clouds, even nearly 50% certainty in killing. The sword warriors themselves, the magic flame, and the 36 slaves formed the battlefield of immortals. These are the 3 strongest combat powers that sword warriors can get now, which are enough to pull the wrist of that magic cloud star. In addition, Jianwu has 2 cards in his hands. These 2 cards are of course the bamboo leaves and blood danks given to him by the wind demon. These 2 methods can be said to be 2 major killing tricks, which can be taken out at critical times to kill the Lord of the Clouds. Of course, the bamboo leaves are okay, but the blood dandelion. The Wind Devil originally said that it would cost a huge price to swallow the blood dandelion, and might even die. There is no doubt about this sword Wushuang, so this blood dandelion must be the final choice. Less than a last resort, he will never use this blood dan, but desperately with the Lord of the Clouds. 3 major combat powers, 2 major killing moves, this is everything that swordsman has prepared. He believes that these means prepared by him should be enough to deal with the Lord of the Clouds. If even these methods still can't help the Lord of the Clouds, he has no other choice. Who? Breathed lightly, Jian Wushuang slowly stood up and looked around the void. In the years of the Eternal Tower, I have promoted what I can and can improve to the extreme, and even if I continue to practice here, I am afraid it will not help me much. Instead, it's a waste of time and it's time to leave. Wu Jianshou smiled lightly, even though he stepped away from the Tower of Time and Space. After walking out of the Tower of Time and Space, Jian Wushuang did not go to the Xingong, but chose to return to the ancient realm of eternity. Jian Wushuang's family lives here in the eternal holy realm. Father, mother. Wu Jinshuang stood in front of his parents. Both of his parents were here. Shuang, I heard that soon after the beginning of the kingdom of God will be robbed, and life and death are unpredictable. Now the top leaders of the whole kingdom of God have gathered together and are trying to improve their strength for the upcoming scene. Prepare for the war. You are now one of the leaders of the gods in the early days. If you do and prepare for the war, what do you come back for? Jian Nantian frowned. I have prepared almost everything I can prepare for this battle, and my strength has now reached the bottleneck, and I see and improve it in a short time, so I will continue to work hard for hundreds of years. I'm afraid that it's hard to make a little progress. I might as well spend this time with you. Jian Wushuang smiled. By Shan filial piety first. Jian Wushuang had been working hard in the early calamity in the early world of God, and was preparing, but he had not been able to accompany his family, even his wife who had been scattered for so long before. He only accompanied his wife alone. It's only 1,000 years. But now, the real calamity is coming. Jian Wushuang's most wanted to do is to accompany his family. You child, the divine crisis is at the beginning. What you should consider first is how to deal with this calamity. Luo Xinxin stepped forward, although she said something in her mouth, but she carried it on her face. The smile shows that she is still very happy inside. The next few hundred years, our family will be in this pre-God world. Take a good stroll, Shuanga. What do you think? Jian Wushuang looked at the peerless beauty next to him, but his eyes softened. I'll listen to your husband. Leng Rushuang smiled. For Leng Rushuang, the safety of the whole world in the early days was not important. What she really cared about was being able to accompany Jian Wushuang, which was enough. Let's go, call Uncle Xiao together with them, as well as the boss Wang Yuan, the second child, the fourth child, and we set off together. Jian Wushuang laughed. It is good. Everyone answered. I soon passed out a message, and it didn't take long for Jian Wushuang and his team to gather hundreds of people. Among hundreds of people, there are relatives and friends of Jian Wushuang, as well as disciples and the children of these relatives. Hundreds of people were arrogant, riding a warship, www.novel.com. They walked across a territory from the ancient holy realm to the triple sky, and from the triple sky to the endless territory. Along the way there were no obstacles and no one or thing disturbed them. Jian Wushuang also gave up cultivation, and spent all these hundreds of years with his wife, his family and friends. They traveled all the way to the mountains and rivers, seeing all kinds of states in the world. If they are bored they will stop in a territory and live for 10 or decades. The life is very happy and warm. What a pity such a happy and warm life does not last long. It is only more than 530 years. One day after more than 530 years, Xin Yun dominated and sent a message to Jian Wushuang. The spaceship on which the Lord of the Blood Sword and the Lord of the Demon Clouds have arrived is near this star field, at most another month. We'll set foot in this star field. Are you finally here? Qi Jianhua's eyes narrowed, and he immediately looked at his relatives and friends. Sorry, I have to leave first. Hearing Jian Wushuang's words, the warship, which was still laughing, suddenly fell into freezing point. They all understand that these hundreds of happy and warm days have come to an end. As for whether they will have such a day in the future, it depends on the outcome of the next battle. Chapter 39:50. The vast universe is dark and you don't see any light. An ancient and huge cosmic boat travels through this dark void. This cosmic boat is extremely fast and obviously huge and heavy. It can travel in the dark void of the universe, just like a fish shuttles through the water. General. In the spacecraft, there is a strong and majestic atmosphere. Whether it is the cabin or the deck, there are a lot of strong men. Most of these people are the rulers of the rules, but there are also many masters. At the core of this cosmic boat, it is clearly a golden and brilliant palace. In the center of the palace, two figures are sitting on the towering throne, in front of which are wine and food. After a few days I will be able to resist that star field. Alas, I said that I have lost one of the stars in this star field, but most of my deities stay in the magic cloud star. As for this star it's rare. I remember when I last came to this star, it was a long time ago. A middle-aged man with loose green robes and exquisite short hair, sighed with a bowl of wine with a unique smile on the corner of his mouth. This middle-aged man in green robe at first glance, looks gentle and elegant, but his eyes are showing a strange golden color, which adds a bit of charm. And his identity is the Lord of the Clouds. It is also the source of the great calamity in the early days. Endless years ago, if it was the Lord of the Demon Cloud who came to this astral area, but unintentionally found the embryonic primordial world, and eventually lost it, then many things will not happen at all. It will happen, and in the beginning the divine realm will be extremely stable. Unfortunately, everything changed because of the arrival of the Lord of the Clouds. At present, the entire pre-God realm is in a distress because of the Lord of the Demon Cloud. Once it fails to pass through, the pre-God realms of countless souls will all lose their lives. Devil Cloud, I said yes, when you get to that astral world you have to let me take a look at the astral world you have taken away. It is best to let me walk inside the astral world. Sit opposite the Lord of the Clouds, a purple warframe man said. The man in the purple armor is burly. At first glance it looks like a mountain. He is sitting opposite the Lord of the Clouds, and his behavior is not accompanied by awe, and the Lord of the Clouds obviously communicates with his peers. Sihua, you can rest assured that my astral world, don't say you just look at it even if you live there for a long time as long as you want to. The Lord of the Clouds smiled. I don't intend to stay in your astral world for a long time. I was just out of curiosity and wanted to check it out. Although it is only a third-level astral world, after all, it was born by the vast universe by itself. Alas, it's enviable. The purple warframe man admired while showing unabashed envy. Haha, I'm just lucky. I was forced into desperation in Demon Star before I ran to other territories to try my luck. The result really made me run into luck. Demon Star laughed. Stand up. Of course you have luck, but you did not die while taking over the astral realm, but you succeeded in taking over, and this ability is not weak. The purple warframe man praised it. He knew very well that even if it was in one of the astral planes in the embryo, it would be a lifetime of death. The success of the Demon Star Master was also the result of his own encounter. He was forced into desperation and finally found a great opportunity. Naturally, he desperately did not leave himself any back road, and he succeeded. The Lord of the Clouds and the purple warframe man are chatting and laughing at will. Suddenly, the Lord Yunyun's expression moved, and the two people who had waited were aware of the void in front of the spacecraft. Get the two in front. The Lord of the Clouds sends a message to the strongman on the cosmic boat. Soon the spacecraft stopped in the dark void ahead, and the two people who had been waiting there came to the spacecraft and soon appeared in front of the Lord of the Clouds. Have met Lord of the Clouds. The two of them who came slightly saluted the Lord of the Demon Stars, and they both carried a hint of humility. Xing Luo Wu Shen, you two are hiding here? The Lord of the Clouds stared at the two in front of him with interest. These two are the Lord of Xingluo and the Witch God. Dominated by Xingluo is the master as cold as snow, although this is a gorgeous dividing line. Tips for novel netizens. Please pay attention to the rest of your eyes when reading for a long time. This is a gorgeous division. Of course, he does not belong to the powerful master of the Lord of the Clouds, but he has also cooperated with the Lord of the Clouds. In the past, Jian Wushuang was trying to find the location of the Lord of the Stars in order to restore his wife as cold as frost. Turn up. As for the Witch God, when he was in charge of the Witch God religion in the early world of the gods, he stood in the same camp with the three sacred realms, and he also shot against the sword unparalleled. Later, after Jian Wushuang destroyed the three sacred realms, he was also looking for the trace of this Witch God, and wanted to find him and kill him, but this witch seemed to evaporate on earth without any trace. But now the two men Jian Shoshuang are looking for, both are here. No way, now that star field is completely a star palace. The power of the star palace is everywhere in the star field, even the three major battlefields of the universe, and their people are everywhere. Jian Wushuang has been searching for the trace of my two. If the two of us are still in the star field at this time, they have already been found. They can only stay at the edge of this star field and wait for the magic cloud star. Lord, you're coming. Wu Shingan smiled. Wu God, do you remember the original agreement with this seat? The Lord of the Clouds stared at the Witch God in front of him. Of course I remember, but since the three sacred realms were uprooted by the sword unparalleled, all of my planned methods have stopped, and I have nothing to do. Wu Shinto. This is not a problem. After I have leveled this star field and killed all the swords and other people around him, your methods can naturally be rerun. Demon Star said. The words are so, but now the sword Wushuang and the power of Taichu God realm are not the same as before. It is not so easy to completely uproot the resistance of Taichu God realm, said Wu God. Oh. Lord Moyun frowned. Then you talk about, to what extent has the resistance force of the gods in the early years reached these years? The Lord of the Demon Clouds, as far as I know, because of the relationship between the Lord of the Blood Sword and the Lord of Gods in the early years, he has received a lot of resources and treasures, and he has also collected a lot of powerful people. Especially in recent years, it brings together nearly 70% of the high-level combat power of this star field. The Witch God began to narrate. Chapter 39:51. The first is more. Listening to the description of the Witch God, until the Witch God finishes speaking, the look of the Lord of the Clouds has not changed at all. The entire star field, nearly 70% of the high-level combat power? The Lord of the Clouds disdain smiled. It's just some of the rule-level ants. No matter how many, they are still just ants. In front of my army of the demon stars, it's basically not worth mentioning. Besides that, I also heard that Jian Wushuang brought back a group of strong men from some place not long ago, about 30 or 40, and those strong ones do not seem to be weak. Wu God said again. Jian Wushuang brought back a group of strong men from the eternal dark prison. This matter is still considered a secret in this star field. Even in the star palace not many people know about it, but this which has been hidden at the edge of this star field, how could he even know about it? A group of strong? How strong can it be? The Lord of the Clouds looked down. It should all be masters. As for the specific combat power, it is not clear. Wu Shinto. Haha, master. The masters of this star field, but they are only the first level hierarchy. At most, 1 or 2 second-rank masters will come out. In front of this seat this can be regarded as a strong one. It's ridiculous. The Lord of the Clouds smiled, still not caring. I heard this. The witch god took a deep look at the Lord of the Clouds but didn't say more. Okay, nothing else, you go down first. Lord Moyun waved his hand. Yes. Wu Shin nodded and bowed away. After the witch god left, the Lord of the Demon Star still looked calm, but the purple battle armor man sitting beside him frowned. Devil Cloud, who was that person just now? The purple warframe man asked. It was a master who had come to me not long ago. He knew that I had taken away one side of the astral world, and he took the initiative to find me and worked for me. Although I had taken that side of the astral world before, I did not know how to maximize utilizing that astral world, or the witch told me how to use it. The plan was also he came up with. Demon Star mastered. Is that so? The purple warframe man nodded slightly but then said again, I just saw this man, and although he seems to be dominating the hierarchy in general, he always gives me a feeling that I can't fully see through. Magic Yun, have you ever felt that way when you faced him? You say that it is true that there may be some secrets in him, but no matter what, he is just an ordinary first-level master. You and I can kill him at will with a slap. Don't worry about what waves he will make, Demon Star said. This is also true. The purple armor man nodded slightly. Then the Lord of the Clouds looked at the Lord of Stars again. Xing Luo, take out the treasure of this seat, the Lord of the Clouds said. Lord Xing Luo immediately waved his hand, and suddenly a black spear, exuding the breath of endless destruction, appeared in the void of the temple. This black spear not only exudes a strong sense of destruction, but most importantly, it also has a unique power, which makes the purple warframe man look at him. Devil Cloud, what is this spear? It's obviously not a rule of treasure, but why does it make me feel so special? The purple warframe man asked. Haha, of course it's special. This spear comes from the Diwu temple with a trace of special power. Because of this special power, the value of this spear is much higher than the most powerful arcane treasure. Compared to the rule of treasure, the difference is not too much. Demon Star said. Treasures from Diwu temple? No wonder. The purple warframe man appeared surprised, and then he was relieved. Xing Luo, thank you for taking back this spear for this seat. I owe you a favor. When this incident is over, this seat will completely wipe out this star field. This seat will give you what you need. Yours. Demon Star said. Then I will wait for the good news of the Lord of the Clouds. After the Lord Xing Luo finished speaking, he turned and left. In the temple hall, the Lord of the Clouds continued to talk with the purple armor man, but the speed of the spacecraft did not slow down at all. Soon, it had already traveled through the vast dark void and officially entered the area of this star field. Taichu Divine Realm, Eternal Holy Realm. After being summoned by Xin Yun, Jian Wushuang returned with many of his family and friends. Father, mother, and everyone, you are sure do not leave the early world of God? Jian Wushuang looked solemnly at his parents in front of him and his relatives and friends. As soon as the battle was over, he planned to take his own close relatives and friends away from the early gods. With his current strength and methods, he completely finds a place for them to live in this astral area, such as in other astral realms, so that at least he can ensure that these close relatives are safe and sound. What a pity, when he raised this matter, none of his relatives was willing to leave. Neither of them intends to leave, but they want to stay in the early world of God. Shuanga, you don't need to say more, we have already considered it very clearly before, and stay in the Taichu God realm, and live and die with Taichu God realm. Jianan Tiandao. Yes, in the early days the world gave birth to me and so on. It is our hometown where our hometown is robbed. Even if I can't help a few people, I want directly abandon it and flee alone, let alone we live, it's been long enough, and even if the next moment the kingdom of God will collapse, I will die after all, I have nothing to regret. Zhui Yunfeng also laughed. When you got into the enemy, you and I have fled once, and we have no plans to experience the second time in those days. Luo Xingqin also said. He is not only the parents of the two generations of Jianghu Shuang, but also Wang Yuan, Yang Zixuan, Su Rou and others. Embarrassed, no one chose to abandon Taichu Divine Realm and escape alone. They all planned to live and die with the gods of the early days and suffer together. In this regard, Jianghu Shuang is also very helpless and cannot be forced. After all, he himself is also a member of the early world. At this embarrassment, he is going to carry the big beam for the early world. He himself also decided to live and die with the early world. Am all like this, how can I restrain or force the people around me? That being the case, then this time we will live and die with the early gods. Jianghu Shuang clenched his hands. Many of the close relatives and friends in front of him also smiled, and their eyes were determined. Alas, that you're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.